Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
Welcome to Meta Mysteries, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today is not Wonder Wiz Day, but it's just going to have to be Meta Monday. We're doing it a little early this time, and we have an amazing guest tonight that we are really looking forward to having another conversation with. She'll be here shortly, but the last time she was on, she blew some minds. That's just what she does.
Dude. Yes, dude. I could not wait for tonight because I have a feeling something similar is going to happen tonight. So I've really been looking forward to this one. And we got Nick with us today, so I didn't want him to miss out on this one because, I don't know, I just have a feeling something cool is going to happen.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Nick.
Hello, how are you?
There she is, the Dojo Sensei. I love the name, dude. That's
Is
nice.
that what it's... Oh, wait. Am I still in this? Oh, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. I'm using my work email. I guess I'm not in my personal Zoom, but I guess it's all right.
Yeah. I like the
doesn't
money
matter.
tree.
Oh, yeah. I actually do have a real money tree downstairs in my house, but that's
Love
just
it.
a fake one. Yeah, I'm a voiceover coach at the VO Dojo in Los Angeles, and this is our Zoom. This is our Zoom room. So welcome. And I actually wanted
Thank
to
you
ask,
for welcoming me. I appreciate that. You know,
welcome to the Dojo Zoom room.
So for anybody that wasn't able to catch the last one, which we got a lot of positivity coming from that one. A lot
amazing.
of people were just absolutely mind blown. Anytime we get somebody who is just extra connected and can prove it is so fascinating. But for anybody that is unaware of you, would you mind giving them the rundown?
I would be happy to. I love what you're wearing. Right, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Jonathan.
I love your glasses and I love your shirt, and it's all working for you.
He's a whole vibe.
It is a whole vibe. I am Shannon, and pardon the glare in my glasses. I just cannot see. I haven't eye exams. I can't see without them. So I am a person. I am a soul living in a human body. I am a voice actor and a voiceover coach. And I am a psychic medium, and I host the podcast called Magic is Real, which is the podcast where we explore near-death experiences, other spiritually transformative experiences, and all things metaphysical and spiritual. And also, we've been talking a lot about like spiritual healing, different modalities and different healers and things like that. So like you, I just have a curiosity about all of the things, quantum physics. I love your podcast because you guys can talk about it with like authority, whereas I'm really into quantum physics, but my brain just flips inside out when I try to read about it, even though I just try to absorb. But I find I think about it every day. I listen to videos about it every day. I just don't think I could actually explain it back to you if you asked.
I mean, hey, we're still learning all this stuff too, and we try and, break it down into little bite-sized pieces so that we can understand it in order to be able to describe it. Probably the coolest one is the double slit experiment, but everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that all quantum physics is showing that none of this is real. That's really that's the whole purpose of it, is to say you thought wrong. That's about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. At the very least, it's not what you thought it was.
Yes, and that's why I tattooed on my arm, life is but a dream.
Love it.
I always say that. Anytime somebody's like, well, you think the earth is flat or you think it's round, I'm saying it's a dream, bitch. That's all it is.
I love that we're in the dream together. That makes me so happy.
Sometimes it's a nightmare, but most of the time it's a dream.
Yeah. It can really also be a nightmare much of the time. I try to just kind of stay in the dream as much as I can, because there's just so much dark energy out there that it's like we just can't fix it all. And to try to is just fruitless. And as much as I know people sometimes think like, oh, prayer, Great. Thanks. Pray for the people. Like a lot of people think that's actually a trite thing to say. It actually isn't, because I think the only way that we have any power over the things that we literally can't control is prayer, intention, call it what you will. I'm not religious. So when I say prayer, I mean literally like putting out the intention, talking to spirits. The more that we don't live in the fear, the more we avoid living in the fear, the more I think we do actually have there is the possibility that we can change the vibration of like the frequency and the vibration. So
Right.
I don't think that it's actually I don't think that prayer is just words. I think it actually has a lot more meaning than that.
100%. And actually, I always like to bring up whenever you think about prayer or faith or anything like that, it doesn't always necessarily have to be tied to religion. But just speaking on faith for a second, there was this guy wrote one of the most popular books of all time called Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And whenever I read that book, I was reading it because I was going into real estate and I was trying to get into the mindset of a millionaire, that whole mentality, right? And one of the awesome parts of the book is where he starts talking about faith. He waited until basically the end of the book. He got out all the business stuff and the business acumen and all that kind of stuff out in the front. And towards the end, he started talking about faith. And he goes, "Now, I'm not a religious man, but I use faith all the time." And essentially, like the idea of, all right, I'm going like instead of, "Oh, I hope that I can be rich," or "I wish that I could be rich," he's like, "No, I'm going to be rich." Like that's the level of faith that you have to have within yourself, within the universe. And there's something about that. Maybe call it the law of attraction or whatever, but you're just putting yourself in that vibration to allow it to happen. Because if you're somebody that's always in lack and, it's another bad thing happening to me, what else is new? Like if you're that kind of person, then that's what you're going to attract. You attract what you put out essentially. And he was talking about that shit back in the 60s. He's not the first to ever talk about it, but just as far as business mentality goes, tying that in, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I heard that today too. Again, I've not heard it for the first time, but I heard again that story about Neville Goddard. And I think he was talking about, I think it was Bermuda, where he's like said to his whoever that like mentor guy was that he hung around. And he said like, "I want to go to Bermuda." And the guy goes, "Stop it. You're in Bermuda." And he's like, "Stop saying that. Just you're in Bermuda. I don't want to hear another word about it." And according to the story, he's like slammed the door in his face and was like, "No, you're already there." And then he got a call from like some family member that was like, "Hey, we're going to do a family trip to Bermuda. And so we got you a ticket," or something of that nature. So all week I've been kind of stopping myself, and I'm on like a 30-day personal challenge to change my language. I even said like, I was telling my roommate, I have to teach a voiceover class tonight, and then I have to do a podcast. And I was like, no, wait. Well, I actually really love doing this, and I love teaching. So I was like, no, wait, I get to teach a class, and I get to be on this amazing podcast. Right. And yes, they're on our to-do list, but they're things that are actually exciting and fun. So even just the way that I've been speaking of like, I wish, no, I have. Like, okay, so right now it looks as if I don't have money for rent, but I do. It's just, I'll see it in a couple of days. It's going to be there. Like it's going to come in. I don't know how, but it's coming. And
it
just kind of,
yeah. It does if you keep that proper mentality too. And what I love too is, I've gotten into the practice of giving myself a tarot reading per day, just a 1-card draw.
Me too.
Almost like how some people use astrology or they check in, with a prayer or whatever, right? I've gotten into the practice of just pulling a 1 card. How's my day going to go? Show me.
Me too.
And I feel like that is so powerful too, because not only does it kind of set you up, but there's certain like surprises where you'll get a card and you'll be like, how is that going to work out? And like, in what way is this going to be expressed? And lately I've actually been getting like a lot of like Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. And anytime you get like one of those pentacle cards, it usually means more cheddar cheese is coming your way. Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not hurting by any means, but I would always welcome in more, right?
Yeah.
And so and I was like, but I wonder like how that's going to work. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I drew the card wrong, or was I not in alignment whenever I did it? So you start questioning yourself, you know? And now I got this whole like plan of moving somewhere else that's going to allow me to save up a lot more money. So it's not even necessarily that I'll be making so much more, but it's just that I won't be spending so much. So it kind of is giving yourself a raise whenever you're not having to spend so much to live, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally just correcting myself all week long. I don't want to be untruthful and walk around telling everybody my delusions, because then they might say, "Oh, that really happened? You actually won the lottery," and then I'll be spreading lies. But I'm trying to just. My roommate's a spiritual fairy, so we just say things like, "Oh my gosh, did you get that $10,000 check in the mail?" I did, girl. And just kind of have someone to be delusional with you, because I think it really helps. And I just had someone on my podcast where we talked about that, and just how it's already in you. It's just jumping into the timeline, or no, the vibration of. It's already there. It's just a possibility. But you kind of have to get your vibration right where that frequency is to line up with it. That's all it is.
You know,
Yeah, and
just
you ever notice that really successful people seem to have things just kind of given to them, or things just continuously fall into their lap? And it's like, what is it about this guy? And really all it is not so much that they already have a lot of money. It's more so that they've already embodied the being that gets a lot of money, or things come to them.
And then the more you receive, the more you're like, see, I am that person. And that, I'm trying to put myself back in the mindset of like, oh, there was a day when like everything was booming. And I just remember thinking, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, I'm making a full-time living as a voice actor. Like, who thought this was going to happen? And, pandemic happened. Lots of things have happened since then. And that kind of derailed me, like losing my voice and stuff. But, I'm like, no, but I did it once. I just have to remember what it feels like. Because otherwise, if you're always the guy that's like, it's slipping through my fingers, then you identify with that guy or person, But
Or if you only identify how hard it's going to be, or all the negative aspects of that, and then that's what you're going to see. And so it's
the
really
focus is
it's
on
really
that.
simple. It's really simple, but it's not easy, to kind of flip that around.
Exactly. Yeah. I also wanted to ask, because Jonathan, this is like off topic, but I know it's on topic, is that Jonathan, I had asked you before I got on I heard my ear was ringing really loudly before I came on here earlier. And when that happens, I can tell when it's just a ringing ear versus like a spirit. And it might even just be a high frequency energy or whatever. And I'll give you an example of that in a bit, but because it kind of something blew my mind in that regard. But so now I'm like, okay, I heard this like loud frequency in my ear today. So what I do when I hear a loud frequency is I say, "Oh, hi, spirit." And then I just say, "Who's there?" And I heard Rick, Ranger Rick. So I just wanted to run that by anybody to see if anybody has someone named Rick on the other side. I'm not sure exactly where that's going yet, but Nick, do you? No. Okay. I just wanted to run it by anybody in case there was a soul named Rick on the other side, but I'll get more. Sometimes it might have to do with something else. I know Ranger Rick was a magazine back in the day, but you guys are all too young to know that.
Well, look, we have a bunch of listeners on the other side that aren't tuning into the live show. So maybe somebody across the world, maybe that connects to somebody out there.
It feels like if it was Ranger Rick, it would be somebody that would literally work in park services. So, and I'm not 100% sure about that. So we'll kind of go into some reading stuff. I'll just kind of, and I just wanted to share something before, because sometimes if I just keep talking, then more stuff will plop in. But I had, I taught a mediumship class, which I do with my friend Nikki, and she had us do photo readings. And I consider myself not to be good at reading photos. That's like, show me a picture and then tell me who the soul is and how they passed and all that. Because to me, when I look at a photo, it gives me too much of like a story in my head, like, because I can kind of see what type of person they are. And so I like not to see anything or know anything. But we did the exercise and I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff. I said to the whole class, I actually suck at photo reading, so don't look at me. But I read back a lot of it. It was a photo of Nikki's grandma, and I wrote down all these things, and I wrote down Gwendolyn and Sandra and Wilma. And then she's like, okay, well, those are all my aunts. So, like,
Whoa.
yes. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got
Whoa.
something. But to me, it was, I think, because she was sitting there, like, because her energy was with me, not just a photo, right? So that all checked out, but she kind of didn't claim some other stuff. After we got off the call, she's like, I'm trying to think of how to tell this. It's a personal story. So I'm just going to say, actually, I think the name was Rick. It was something like I just kept hearing, no, it wasn't. It was something else, but I kept hearing this name over and over and over. And she's not claiming it. And I was like, okay, I'll just keep giving you more information. And then I just said the name again. And she said, hold on, let me just close the door so that my kids can't hear this. And I won't say what it was because it was really uber personal, but it was something about that, something traumatic that had happened to her. And her grandmother hadn't basically gotten her back. Her grandmother basically had not like believed that it happened. And so at that moment, I thought, okay, she's wanting to apologize for that because I'm doing this reading and I keep hearing this name over and over and over and over and over. And she keeps being like, nope, nope, nope. And it was the name of this like character in the story. And right at that moment, I'm like, oh my God, she wants to apologize. And my ear started ringing. It was like this pressure built up in my ear that was so loud. It felt like my head was going to explode. And it was like loud ringing. And then I got chills. It was like somebody just like moved all the way through me. And I go, she wants to say she's sorry about whatever. And she goes, oh my God, I was meditating 2 days ago. And she came to me and said that same thing. So now when I hear a ringing in my ear, normally it's like not that. It was so important. It was such a like major important thing that her grandma had to say because it needed major healing. And I've never gotten such a physical, visceral, like that ringing was like, I could feel it. I don't know how they do that, but I guess it's like the energy moving through your body and stimulating your eardrum or whatever. So when I get a feeling like that, I heard a ringing and then I said, who's there? And I heard Rick, Ranger Rick. So again, if anyone can claim that, you can let us know. I would need more than that, obviously, because as an evidential medium, the evidence is in showing me something that there's no way that I could possibly know other than you can't just come through and say, I love you. You've got to say, I love you. And you're using that end table that I gave you or built for you. And then I know, okay, it's coming from them and not just from my own memory. So first just wanted to let you
point.
Yeah, first wanted to let you speak, but also just wanted to see if there's anything for like the panel here. Sometimes I like to write and I don't have anything with me, but is there anything that you want to say before I give it a go?
Are you talking to us or like spirit over there? Okay. Just yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of just ready to take the training wheels off and hit it at 100 miles an hour. Let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get weird and see what happens because sometimes it's better when there's just more pressure and it tends to be easier with a group. So, okay. The first thing that I'm feeling is that there's somebody, it may even be in this direct room. I could be like, Pete, is it, how do you say it? Asia. I mean, Asia. That makes much more sense. Thank you. Asia, Pete, Britt, Kyle, Nick. You all look pretty young to me, but does one of you have a father that's on the other side? And if what we can do too is like raise your hand if like one thing. This can be like a father or grandfather. And I think I heard like the name. See, I'm hearing Rick and Dick at the same time. So I kind of want to say this would be Richard, but I'm wondering if it's the same person. It feels like Richard, but they go by Dick, which I know. Can anybody take that off the bat? No. Okay. That's all right. I'm going to keep going. So it feels as though there's a father. I do feel like this father would have passed pretty young, like in 50s or early 60s. I definitely feel like this is like an outdoorsman kind of person. I feel like there's a fishing pole. So this could even be a grandfather. I hope it could even be, I don't know if it's Bob again, but I definitely felt like this is somebody who's showing me like standing out in the woods, fishing, like a fisherman, somebody who camps, somebody who drives a truck. But nobody has the name Dick, do they? Specifically? Okay. Let me just kind of go into it a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. What was someone going to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, whenever that happens, I want to know the mental process of what you're thinking
Yeah.
about.
So what first I ask who's there, and then I feel immediately like the knowing that there's a father on the other side. And it's a father that was not older. So I might even want to say like 60, but he's sort of a young 60. He's not like a professional suit guy. He's more of an outdoorsy guy. And I'm going to ask him for specifics too. This is somebody who would camp, who would fish. Uh, he does have a smoker's laugh, so I feel that he's somebody who smokes like heavily. He also is giving me the feeling of like um heart related. It might have been like a sudden kind of passing from a heart attack. Can anyone claim this? And if we can't, what often happens is it's somebody's who's not in the room or not able. Do we have the ability for people to chime in
Yeah. I mean, if
to
anybody,
like from
if
the
this is
outside?
if this is
Okay,
describing anybody, y'all feel free to unmute or
just
just
feel
write in the
free.
chat or whatever.
I'm feeling sort of like a choking feel, like I'm having trouble breathing, and like my heart. It feels as though this would have been my heart's kind of pounding really hard. So I feel like it's somebody who would have died of a sudden heart attack. And when I say dad, it could be stepdad, it could be grandfather, it could be friend's dad. So just keep that in mind as well, because sometimes spirit will come in for another person, knowing that you're here, but that they might need to say something else. I'm also feeling like numbness in my wrists, and that often means like a stroke. So it kind of just feels like there's this feeling of not being able to move, like on the top. And so, like the chest, it feels compressed, like I'm having trouble breathing. And whoever this is also is bringing through a feeling of like remorse about not being there. Like I wasn't necessarily the most present father or grandfather. Does this resonate with anybody?
Not me.
We may have to, okay. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to kind of know that like, I'm just going to see,
Nora chimed in. She said, "Oh shit, it really is an early meta episode. Happy birthday to me. It literally is my
happy
birthday today."
Happy birthday.
Okay.
Nora. Happy birthday,
Nora,
girl.
hi Nora, happy birthday. Okay, so what I might do is sometimes the thing is somebody might later be like, this is somebody. I feel like this person woodworking is like something that they do with their hand. I mean, obviously they work with their hands, woodworking, but there's also the sense of like not really being around very much for their kids. So, and it feels like they have a daughter and a son. And it feels as though there's something like artery related, like it feels like somebody that didn't take care of himself and had like high cholesterol and like blocked arteries and that kind of thing. So if it's not resonating right now, I'm just going to trust that I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. I'm getting like tingles all over my body. So this may be something that comes up later, which kind of sucks. I'm feeling it so strongly though. I'm feeling like my heart's pounding, like something's wrong with my heart. I'm not able to breathe. And again, this person's kind of saying I wasn't really the father that I should have been. It was like he kind of just like had a kid and then had this very young, didn't really realize that he could have been there more often. It's a guy who's sort of like out, just not really wanting to grow. You can chime in, please, Nora. Does it ring to? Okay. Thank you, Nora. I appreciate. Oh, I just got chills all the way up my leg. Okay. Do you want to? You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to, but do you want to? Can you tell me like what part does resonate? And don't give me too much information. Just like I'm getting the yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honestly, kind of rings to my dad.
Okay.
Not so much the word working stuff,
Okay.
but he did recently have his 8th minor stroke.
Okay. And but is he alive?
He is alive, but I have the feeling he is close.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's very possible. I could be paid. This could be something psychic. Now, the woodworking stuff, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that fits in. But and I don't want to make it fit. But I do feel as though, and this is your if it's too personal, just stop me. But this is your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is he but he's currently like awake and alive, like he's not in a coma or anything?
He is. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just so I make sure. Because I also wonder if it might be like his mom coming through or something of the other. Because is he sort of an outdoorsy kind of a person?
Definitely not.
Okay, then I don't think this would be him, but let's just kind of stay on that path because I could be jumbling up other things as well. I am picking up, like I said, like tingles all over my body. I am picking up something about a stroke, heart attack. It feels like paralysis in my chest and in my arms. Um, and that would be interesting. If he's not on the other side, it's possible, but I don't want to force it, but let's just kind of see where that goes. Is there somebody too, like a family member on the other side? I'm going to go with you, Nora, just to see, because it might kind of help me connect better. I also have the feeling of somebody with the name Rose on the other side. Would that be like his mom or one of your grandmothers?
Oh, well, to kind of split on that, my mother-in-law,
Okay.
that's her name. However, she is alive,
Okay.
but my birth father is literally haunted by my deceased grandmother.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Rose is okay. Wait. So Rose is your
Mother-in-law.
mother-in-law. Okay. Got it. Got it. But she's alive.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Rose is your partner's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And then who is the person who's haunted by the grandma?
My birth father, who is currently alive.
Okay, so
The death of my grandmother, his mother, was a very traumatic experience for him.
okay. I'm just trying to figure out why we're talking about Rose. Does Rose also have does she have a partner that's on, or like a husband that's on the other side? Or
No,
okay. Why are we talking about Rose? And is Rose in good health? Is she doing all right now?
he's in good health. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It
That's
is
good.
interesting about the woodworking
Okay. Yeah.
because my father-in-law,
Okay.
her husband, he's alive, but he has done a lot of woodworking.
Okay. Let me just kind of lean into that because they're alive. Usually, what this means is somebody's trying to get through to them from the other side. If it's like Rose and woodworking, is there anything about, I don't know who this soul is that's like the fisherman outdoorsman. It might be somebody completely different. We've got a lot of people here, so it's very possible. But if we're talking about Rose and her husband being in woodworking, sibling, this does feel like I do kind of feel, and they're not the ones that are haunted, but I do feel like do you know like their parents? Is there somebody on that side of the family that would be like a camping person, like fisherman? Um, Somebody of that nature, like on that side of the family.
Not on
Okay.
that side of the family. However, my family's a little complicated.
That sometimes happens, and then yeah.
My grandpa, who is my birth father's father,
Mm-hmm.
is exactly that woodsy outdoorsman fisherman
And is he,
who. Yes,
go
ma'am.
on, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Sorry. He did have a lot of regret over certain situations in my
Okay,
birth house.
gotcha. And is he on the other side as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
He is.
okay, let me just kind of go in that direction too, because I feel like there's like all these different things. I'm getting like tingles all over, so it just might be a bunch of different people kind of coming in, especially because it's your birthday, which would make sense that you'd be getting kind of love on your birthday.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, let me just kind of go with that because I'm not going to try to you can as long as it makes sense to you. I don't need to know like, I guess I don't need to figure all that stuff out. But I'm feeling like there is a reference, and it'll all come together. It always does. There is a reference to Rose. There is a reference to someone in woodworking. There is a reference to this gentleman that's like on the other side. That would be like a camping outdoors guy, fisherman,
Mhm.
and who comes through with remorse about sort of not being the father that he could have been, or at least not protecting his kids the way he could have. Does that make sense to you with
Mhm.
him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you here? Sorry, were you here when I was asking if anyone had someone named Rick? Because I heard Ranger Rick earlier, or Dick, but I think you were here for that.
Oh, no, ma'am. I had just popped in about 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Does the name Rick mean anything to you?
No, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, like that's okay. Okay, so it feels as though I kind of want to go with Grandpa. I kind of want to lean in that direction, although I'm still kind of feeling like there's someone. Now I'm feeling somebody that has like stomach. I'm having stomach pain that would have like stomach cancer or stomach lining cancer. Does that mean anything to you with your loved ones on the other side? And don't worry if it doesn't. It's okay to say no.
It absolutely does.
Oh,
My
it does.
grandpa, he died from cancer that had originated in the bowels and spread
Okay.
up.
That's what I'm feeling. Like stomach cancer feels right. So I do feel like we have dad, and we'll figure out the other stuff if it's important later. But right now I just feel like this is fisherman guy. I don't know what the name Dick or Rick has, but I almost now kind of was leaning towards it might be someone who went by Dick, which I know no one does anymore because no one wants to be named that. But back in the day, it was like a very more of a common kind of a name. And don't tell me what it is because I'm going to see if he can bring it into me. But yeah, so this is Grandpa. And again, just so for reference again, Grandpa is your bio dad's father or your
Yes, ma'am.
step. Okay. Yeah. But did you not meet him in like before you were, did he pass before you were born?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay.
He had passed about 12, 13 years ago.
Okay, got it. I kept seeing like the number like 7. I don't know if this is his age. Now that I'm at first, like when I saw this guy, he looked younger, like 60, but I just asked for more information and I'm getting like, I don't know if you would know this, but like 73. And I couldn't figure out if that was a year, like 1973, or if that was like his age. Do you happen to remember how old he was when he passed?
73, that does sound about right.
Okay, I feel like 73 and I'm getting like chills right here. And then I feel like major chills on my scalp. So it feels really important that he talks to his son. And does your dad have a sister as well?
No, ma'am. Only child.
Okay, do you know if they had like a sister that would be on the other side or someone that's like a sister that would be like a niece of his or something? Because he's addressing like a boy and a girl. And does your dad also have a brother?
No, ma'am.
It's just your dad.
only child.
It's just your
Mhm.
dad. Okay, because I kept seeing a boy and a girl, and then there might be other children that are like nieces, nephews. That did they all play together? Like, were they grew up in the same house? Are they all together?
Not sure about nieces or nephews.
Okay. Let me kind
And
of. Oh yeah, go ahead. Unless you have kids, do you have children?
yes, I do. Two
Okay,
girls.
2 girls. Okay, and that's not what. Okay, I'll just keep going with it because I'm feeling like his big reason for coming through is really apologizing for like not being consistently there and kind of being in his own selfishness, like not being able to be consistent. Was he? I'm waiting for. I can't quite tell. Usually, if somebody's a drinker, I get really dizzy. But do you know? Did he drink beer a lot?
No, he didn't.
Is there somebody that did? Because I'm seeing like Marlboro or something. Like, was there somebody who would have drank Marlboro beer? I mean, sorry, not Marlboro. I'm sorry, not that's Marlboro cigarettes, which I used to smoke. I'm trying to see what this brand is. It's like a gold can, and I don't know what. I haven't had beer in such a long time. I don't remember what it is. But no, what were you going to say about the beer?
It does relate to somebody else not on that side of the family, somebody
Okay.
who is alive. And if this rings to anybody else listening, I'd like to hear that too.
Yeah. The beer is what is it? Something. It's
Miller High Life.
Miller. It's Miller. Thank you. I'm seeing the thing and I'm seeing the M and I keep wanting to say Marlboro, but it's Miller. So like if any Miller beer is specifically important or it's somebody's last name, please let me know. Does that resonate with your grandfather coming through to sort of apologize for not being the most consistent father? It just feels like he's in and then he's out.
He definitely would have felt like not being consistent enough in raising his child, my dad.
Yeah, I just kind of felt like he wanted to apologize to your dad because he understands that he didn't spend the time that he really needed to, and that your dad kind of, I don't want to say suffered, but really like, suffered for that. I mean, I will say suffered for that in the sense that he might have kind of gotten off track a little bit just because he didn't really ever feel totally safe and loved by his dad. I don't know if he ever expressed that to you.
He hadn't, but it could have been something that happened that I didn't see.
Yeah, it just kind of it felt as though it did affect. It's like kind of affected the way that he parented and like the way that it's just sort of acknowledging like I wasn't quite always there the way that I should have been. And again, I'm just kind of getting like pain in my chest, but I'm waiting for him to tell me. Did you knew him in this life? Did you?
Yes, absolutely.
Let me. I want him to show. I need him to show me something. Bracelet. Did he give you like a gold bracelet at some, or do you have a gold bracelet that would be significant? And if it's not him, was it a gold bracelet that you would wear or have been given by dad or someone else that's on the other side? It might even be a baby bracelet now that I'm looking at it. It's like a little. It's little. It's like it may not fit you anymore. And if you don't know, just get back. So a lot of times after the fact, people come back the next day and they're like, oh my gosh, I just remembered what this is. So sometimes just kind of think it, don't force it. But if that does make sense to you, let me know or let Jonathan know or Sean know. Because it does feel like there was something like a baby bracelet or something that he would have given to you or that you would still have. Do you still have your baby bracelet? Like a baby bracelet? It looks like it has little beads on it or something too. So just think, just if that comes up, let me know. And is there somebody named Cheryl on either in your family or on the other side?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else have Cheryl? No. Okay. I'm feeling big chills on my right-hand side, so I'm just trying to figure out if that's all he wanted to say. But again, I would need more. Steve, I feel like I'm hearing like Steven. Do you have someone named Steven on the other side?
I don't.
Okay.
Maybe what's going on is with everybody listening, there's so many spirits coming through.
That sometimes happens. But like if anything comes to you later, yeah, you should maybe just want to like edit this part out so everyone's not bored. But the thing is the process can be kind of slow sometimes. Or I get a lot of stuff and then I'm like, I'm not hitting on anything. And then the next day someone's like, oh my gosh, I just realized that was for me. So I don't want to give up on it. But I just definitely feel like what I know is like this man has stomach cancer. I feel like he's an outdoorsman. I feel like he just wants to apologize to his son for not being the best father he could be. And I would say that he's wishing you happy birthday, but I only know that because you told me. And so I can't validate that because usually when it's a birthday, I see a red balloon. And I already knew it was your birthday. But I also thought I heard like a grandmother with the name Sophia or something like that. Does anyone have Sylvia or Sophia, a grandmother? In this room. I'm also wondering if it's for somebody else in like the greater.
Somebody's listening to this shit the next day, like, oh my God, why was I
know
not
that's
there?
the thing. So I don't want to freak out about it because this has happened before. I'm like, something's not happening here. But then I had this woman that was like, no. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to give her a refund because I think that sucked. And then the next day, her other daughter wrote to me and was like, she goes, I told her, Mom, literally everything was literally, I'm not saying that this is you, but there are things you may not know. But she was like, every single thing. And then she talked to the spirit's husband and he wrote to me and was like, I can go off checklist and just tell you everything. He's like, you said that there was a blanket in the coffin and that there was a white rose in the coffin. Grandma said no. He's like, my daughter I said, it's something like her cozy blanket. And they said, that's what we used to call it, is her cozy blanket. And we put it in there and her daughter my daughter actually drew a picture of a white rose and put it in the coffin. But I guess Grandma didn't know that. So we'll just keep talking because sometimes something like, remember last time it just kind of sort of came in organically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what's so fascinating
yeah.
about all of this is that you're already proven. You know what I'm saying? Like you proved it to us that you were on something. That's why we're just like watching you cook. You know,
yeah,
we're just
and it's
like
funny because it's such
kitchen.
a process. Yeah, it's such a process of okay, now I feel like pain in my stomach, so I know this person has stomach cancer, and I know this person has trouble expressing their feelings. Like Grandpa to me feels like somebody that would have had trouble expressing emotion in this life. Not that he's a bad guy, just like he's not gonna be the guy to say, "Hey, son, like let me talk about this with you," But there is this feeling of like, I really want to tell him I'm sorry. I love him. I'm so sorry that I wasn't the father that I should have been. And now I realize the time that I kind of wasted. Do you know if that was his personality, Nora?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely was.
It feels
He-
like he's loving, like he's caring, and you wouldn't say that he's like a cold, but he just is not going to be the first person to step up and share his feelings. And now it's like, oh, why did I do that? Like, why didn't I just say how I felt? Why didn't I let him know I loved him? And it just feel like his pride kind of got in the way of really getting vulnerable with his son. So I don't know if that's something you talked to your dad about or if he's even spiritual, but that's kind of the feeling that I had, was just wanting to say, I wish that I had been more open. I wish that I had just said how I felt.
Yeah, and that definitely rings true. There were they my grandma and my birth dad, they were very verbally abusive towards each other, and they all three of them lived in a hoarder house altogether. I even have a podcast myself talking about
Ah,
my experience living with them. And
wow.
my grandpa was always the fella to try to keep the peace, but not get too involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet kind of man who was, a lack of a better term, a bit of a pushover when it came
I was gonna
to
s-
events.
Yeah, it sounded like he's very passive. Just in that, like, I didn't get that he's a mean person or anything. It's more just, I don't feel comfortable getting vulnerable. I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to get overly, emotional. Is just how he came through as like, he loves his son, but there's something. And yeah, I just also, but I'm still so curious about the woodworking and the rose because I feel like that might be something for them. Um, And they haven't lost, I would assume you would have known this, but like your partner doesn't have a sibling on the other side or anything like that. Because it feels like it's for both of them. And that's why I wondered.
Um,
Like they didn't lose a child or anything of that nature, right?
Not
Yeah.
that I'm
Not
aware.
that you're aware of. Okay. It just felt like a message for, they usually bring somebody up that's in this world for a reason. And they're pointing to two different people, like coming in at the same time. But now, um,
If if it helps, my first daughter's name is Rose, and they never got to meet her.
oh, okay, okay. That's more likely, I would say, than that there's a mention of Rose. So and so your grandfather never got to meet that baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. I'm not sure where the woodworking fits in, but when I hear Rose, that to me would be an acknowledgement of your daughter of saying like we do know her. We didn't miss
Aw.
we didn't meet them in this form, but we actually are very aware of Rose and following Rose through her life. So um, that would make more sense to me than Rose being your. Sometimes we have a message for somebody else, but sometimes when I hear Rose, that's just like to me, that's somebody's
Oh,
name and they're addressing your daughter and just sending your daughter
oh,
love. Like I did meet her. Like we're totally there. So that
oh.
thank you for that. That does help a lot.
Interesting. Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity, Shannon, all right. So whenever you're talking to these people or you're getting some form of communication from these people that have passed on to the other side, like what are they doing over there? You know, what's going on?
Hmm.
Are they just floating around in the ether? Are they just free spirits and they can pop in and pop out anytime, any when, anywhere kind of situation?
Such
Do
a
they
good
just
question.
they just exist in infinity or how does that work?
Yeah, that's so interesting because even after having interviewed hundreds of near-death experiencers who've been to the other side and come back, I still don't entirely know, but I know what I do know. What I do know is that when people cross over to the other side, they just say that it's not like here where it's like, what are we doing with our time? But there's no time, right? Everything happens, everything everywhere all at once. So here we measure everything by time and we're like, what are you doing with your time? Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm reading a book, I'm making dinner, then I gotta go to the gym, and then I'm driving, and then like we've got all these things we're doing. I mean, people tell me that when they crossed over, it was just like some people even just sort of never really got quite over the hump of the other side. They just kind of floated around in nothingness, but it was totally all good. Like it didn't feel boring or it just felt like bliss. Like there's nowhere to be, there's nothing to worry about. You're just sort of like an amoeba that doesn't need to do anything. But most people tell me that when they go to the other side, there is like a whole, it's almost like that movie. I don't know if you guys saw it, Defending Your Life with, I think it was Albert Brooks. And it's like, there's like a council. It's like they're alien. I don't know what they are, but it's like beings, aliens, light beings. And they actually have like structured meetings. I don't know how it would work. It's like they have, okay, so I just interviewed this woman today who was in Iraq. She was working in Iraq and she was blown up in a roadside bomb. And she said she didn't even feel, she heard it. She heard the pop and she's like, oh shit, bomb's coming. But then she was just in another place. So she didn't feel the impact, even though it blew up her whole convoy. Like, so she ended up with like, I'm getting chills all over my body right now too. So I feel like I know I'm connecting. That's the other thing is I know. And so when she went over there, she's like, I'm standing in a sort of like a podium and I'm like, there's thousands of beings and we're having like a meeting. But I knew them all. It was like, oh yeah, I remember you guys. It's like kind of like, and then they actually have a meeting about like, okay, so what's going to happen? Are you going to stay here or do you want to go back and kind of finish out what you were doing? And she's like, I'd be cool here, really, honestly. But they're like, well, she's like, but I'll go back. And they said, all right, let's choose what injuries you're going to have so that, because they're each going to inform how you go through the rest of your life. So like there is some discussion and I don't really, although it's all telepathic. And she explained it as like impossible to explain because she has a book, which I have right near me. And I was reading and it's like, the way that you're having a communication is that it's all telepathy. So she's like, it's more of like an understanding and all these downloads. And she's like, and we were laughing kind of at the same time, like, oh, should I lose a leg? Should I use an eye? Like she lost an eye and like her hand and like parts of her body. But she's like, yeah, to this day, I can't move my arm. So, but I was kind of like, okay, well, whatever we choose, it's going to help me kind of get through life with a different set of like tools and understanding. So I also hear that sometimes you go there to like help other souls, like, and I don't know how it's structured because I think there's no way we can really understand. But again, is this all a hologram and it's like being run by like other souls or aliens? I had another guy on the other day that he basically saw that like the universe and the earth is really just run by like other souls. It's like it is other souls. It's made up of other souls, and this is the dream. So this is like a projector, and this is all just a movie. It's not actually a place. It's like this soul's having a dream. It's so again, I can't even. I think we can't really explain it because it's nothing that we can understand.
Right.
And I hear all kinds of things like, and yes, they can. When people are like, oh, I don't want to bother my dad because, I know he's up. You're not bothering a soul by saying, hey, can you come hang out with me? Because they can be with you and your brother and your sister and your all at the same time, like Santa Claus.
Right.
Like, I don't know how it works. I really can't even begin to fathom. But I also know that they're everything, everywhere, all at once. We are them. They're us. There is no they. It's like you and I, all of you people here are me and I'm you.
Yeah.
We're just split out into different bodies so we can interact with each other.
We're the one, baby.
Yeah. What do you think? Because I'd love to hear. You always have really.
I've really come around to the idea of everything is one. That it just makes the most amount of sense. And to be honest, in that frame of mentality of looking around at the world as if it's all just some form of projection of you, it makes things so much easier because it brings you closer to the people, to literally everybody. Like I can look at Sean as if like that's some kind of version of me, and it almost makes you look like, I don't know, just feel like a lot closer to them and more sympathetic and empathetic because you're not gonna. Why would you talk shit on yourself? I mean, we do it all the time, but nobody says it out loud, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm of the belief that it's all kind of one thing. As far as what's going on the other side, I mean, there's so many possibilities, like people that have the near-death experiences or people that go through the past life regressions or anybody that's done like a heavy dosage of psychedelics. It's like it's too much for our minds to even comprehend. But Nicholas, I know you got something to say on this topic, sir.
I do. I just wanted to kind of touch on the whole idea of like the kind of life review things that Shannon was talking about, and the idea that some people have about, you've heard of like the soul trap idea, right? Like, we're just like trapped and we're recycling and, we don't have anywhere to go. I just kind of wanted to make the point of why I don't subscribe to that theory, because there's so many people that are having those kinds of experiences where they're meeting up with their guides or whatnot, and they're like planning those kinds of scenarios out and coming back. Like, if you were in some sort of loop trap system, there wouldn't be these teams that are just assisting all the time for that kind of soul development all the way through.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way, because it does feel like the universe or God or the source or whatever is trying to work with you rather than against you. It's not some kind of enemy or anything like that. It doesn't seem like that. It definitely seems almost like a twin version of you. That there's you, and then there is a mirrored version of you that ultimately emphasizes your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and projects it outward for everybody to see and for you specifically to see. So like, the whole idea of waking up on the wrong side of the bed and bringing that mentality, how does that continue to multiply all the way throughout your day? It's like, I think that is a perfect example of the universe almost shining a mirror back onto you and saying, yes, that's what you are, that's what you're experiencing. And that can only work, in my opinion, if everything is all just like a mirrored version of just itself.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And I also think like we change form, but we don't have to reincarnate. Like we don't have to. And some people say they never do. And then other people are like, I want to try a different thing. And also we can reincarnate as ETs. Like, we're not the only species here. And some people have said my past life was like I literally just dwelled in some planet and there was all peace and nothing really happened. It was just like, what's his name? Matthias, you guys know this.
Stefano, I think.
Thank you. Yes. And he talked about that, like being on planets where sometimes nothing was going on. And or it's just like happiness and bliss, or sometimes you're just floating around, but you're cool with it.
Right.
And here we come into this world where everything is so dense and we're so time oriented. But I don't think we have to be doing anything. But but whoever this council, like, I don't know who these beings are, and also where do they come from? Because it's that age-old question of, okay, where did we come from? Okay, well, we came from whatever, the Big Bang Theory. But where did the Big Bang come from? And then like, where did God come from?
It's like the whole conversation about, the Elohim, essentially. Like, was there some kind of council of beings that created this reality in some kind of sort? And yeah, I don't know. I mean, are they separate from us? Are we fractures of them or fragments of them or whatever? At that point, it's like, I don't know. I personally have had an encounter with the Elohim before, and it was definitely not me. Like it felt like, I don't want to say it wasn't me, but in that moment, I knew that there was my thoughts and then there was them. You know what I'm saying? And it felt magical. It's really the best word that I can really put on that. And so I personally believe that there has to be some kind of Elohim. Now, put whatever you mean on that. I mean, are we talking about the Jewish, Torah Elohim? Are we talking about you know what I mean? Like, maybe those people were really just trying to pick up on something that they didn't even fully understand, or maybe they did, and it's hard to tell.
And just to touch back on what we were talking about before, as far as like having to reincarnate, maybe that's not even the right way to say it, just as you were saying earlier, Shannon, as far as, I have to do a podcast. Maybe we get to reincarnate, you know what I mean? Maybe that's the whole thing. Once you get out of this entire existence of duality and you go into that oneness, eventually you want to reincarnate to have experience, because you kind of forget what it's like, and it's like really like a game, like a ride, who knows?
Yeah, definitely. And then yeah, some people say that they choose not to. Some people actually say, I'm going to reincarnate. And then at the last minute, they're like, nope, I'm not doing it. And I went, and going back, like Christian Sundberg, who I've interviewed and met at the Near Death Experience Conference, he was one of those people that like remembers his mother, like choosing a mother and then realizing he wasn't ready yet. And that's why she lost the baby. And it wasn't, it's
Oh,
sometimes the
wow.
soul is like, it's not time. I can't do this right now. And so he's like, so my mother, I think, miscarried or whatever. And he's like, I'm sorry I did that to her, but I just couldn't do it. And it might have been, no, it was him, because he remembers all the pre-birth memories as well. He's really interesting, Christian Sundberg, and he's on a million podcasts and a really incredible speaker. But I also know that a lot of people ask me, does my loved one miss me, like on the other side? And I say, you're not going to like this, but no, they don't miss you. But it's because they don't miss you because they're with you. Like they're close. They're now one with you.
There's
So
no
it's,
lack of you.
there's no lack of you. You miss them because we have
Mm.
physical bodies and now you can't touch them, hold them, hug
Mm.
them. But they don't miss you because they're one with everything. They are more with you than they've ever been. And also some people on the other side say, I'm golfing over here, or I loved lobster and I'm eating lobster and corn. That's like my favorite dinner. And so I'm eating it over here. Literally, they don't have a body,
Right.
but just as we can create our reality, they can create their heaven. And that's, and people, I believe, can create their own hell. So they're near-death experiencers who, I'm not saying they didn't, but like went to hell. I personally
Mhm.
don't believe in hell, like as a place,
Right.
but it's a form of consciousness to me.
Mhm.
That we create it by having fear around it, thinking we deserve to go there, religious indoctrination, saying if you do something bad, you're going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity. You might go to a place that has you kind of looking at some things. But as one of my guests said the other day, if God created hell, he wouldn't make you rot down there,
Mhm.
Like whatever. But God is perfection. We're all perfection. But we do bad things in the human form.
Right.
There's the contrast. And that's because, in my view, indoctrination, trauma, fear, mental illness, like there are things that we do here. It doesn't mean our souls are inherently evil. It just means that our souls were plopped into a body that had some rough shit happen, and they made poor choices because we still have free will. Based on that trauma and their own fear, they did things that were very bad. But their actual soul, all souls are just one big blob of light that just branch off to have different experiences.
Man,
By chance, was that Dennis that you're talking about
Mhm.
that mentioned that? I just listened to that episode, and it's so funny.
Yay.
Everybody needs to go listen to that episode because I just felt like it was very fascinating, and the way that he looks at things is just so. I don't know. I feel like it takes the pressure off, like you
Yeah.
were saying before, you end up in some hell that you actually kind of created for yourself because that was the state of mind that you were in or what have you. But it's funny because I was listening to that and then I was thinking about Nick and thinking about letting him know that you were going to be on tonight. And in 5 minutes, he texted me asking me about the live tonight. And so it was just like this weird
Yeah.
thing that happened where it was like, maybe we are all one.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that happen today too, where I thought, I'm going to reach out to my coworker to ask if her Joshua Tree house is open. And then she texted me right at that moment, being like literally we texted each other at the exact same time about two different things. But she popped into my mind and I was like,
Mhm.
I'll text her this thing. But I forgot what I was going to say. So do you have thoughts about that as well?
Well, just out of curiosity, so you say that you have sessions with people.
Mhm.
That's regarding like psychic sessions, you mean?
Mediumship sessions. And so the way it works is I have, let's say Nora came to me. So we'd be on a Zoom call and I do an hour reading for people. So we kind of settle in and then I usually do like a prayer beforehand and just to I meditate beforehand. Today I didn't have time because I was jumping from one thing to another. I don't know if it's how necessary it is, but it could also be jumping from one thing to another that my connection isn't as strong. But I usually do a meditation for a half an hour and I ask the spirit world to come and to let Nora know whatever it is that she most needs to hear today. I ask that my own ego, my own self-doubt, my own fear, my own judgments be gone, and that I ask them to use me to send messages that are in everyone's highest and best good and in the best good of the spirit world, because I'm just a messenger. So sometimes spirit doesn't have anything to say, in which case, which is rare, but there are times where it's like, if the person doesn't really need a reading, spirit isn't going to necessarily like stop the presses and like slow because they have to slow their vibration. We have to speed our vibration up to meet in the middle. And when it's really important, like when my friend's grandma came through, she was like, please tell her this, tell her this, tell her this, tell her this. And I was getting like full body chills and ringing in my ear. And then other times people come for curiosity, and it doesn't mean I can't read them. It just, the connection isn't always, it's usually not as strong as like, I just lost my spouse. And that's like, there's a soulmate group on Facebook that I'm recommended in through this woman who like stays married to her husband while he's on the other side, and she teaches people to have relationships with their soulmates. And so she recommended me. So I tend to really do well when somebody has lost like a really close loved one, because the bond is so much stronger. Because when you're intimate with somebody, that's a bond, like the only bond stronger is a child, child and parent, especially child and mother, but obviously father as well. And then the other bond is like intimate relationships, romantic relationships, because you're like sharing souls. I mean, when you have sex with someone, you're like in their energy in a way. So I find it usually pretty, like I can feel a lot when there's somebody that's missing their soulmate, because they're still so connected. But then sometimes people come and they're just curious, and I just kind of get a few things, but it's not that pow mic drop moment, which might have been the case here too, which is I'm kind of I'm like, hey, if you got anything, send it my way. But if someone doesn't have like an incredibly strong need for healing today, I may just miss it, or I may kind of be trying. Like I can pick up like a little thing like Rose, stomach cancer, but and then I can hear, I know there's an apology, but it's a little bit gentle, because I think because Nora, I think you're, you are okay. I just wanted to see. Oh yeah, that was Nora's note in the chat. So it's really interesting that Nikki Blair, who I teach with, we teach mediumship, and she's an incredible Indigenous medium. She serves the Indigenous community. She grew up on a reservation herself, and she's incredible. And yet she calls me almost every other day. Oh, I just had one and I just couldn't do it. She's like, am I even? And I'm like, it happened. Like sometimes we are stronger than others. I have like, we remind ourselves in those times. I say, remember the time that you brought through this thing. And you're like, of course. It's like, it's not a perfect science. I can't always get that connection, and sometimes she'll pass someone on to me and vice versa, because she's like, I don't know, my energy is just not there today. But other times it's like you're on fire and spirit's like talking in your ear and you can hear it so loudly, but it is sometimes a little more subtle. And
do you
so
wonder, do you ever think that there's like some kind of astrological connection there? Maybe,
I wonder.
I don't know if Mercury's in fucking retrograde or something like that right now. But
tonight, right?
Is it a full moon?
I think is it today? Who knows? Who's astrology?
So. I don't think that's tonight.
Yeah, okay. It's not tonight. It's this week.
It's like a sliver right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's going to be happening. The portal. Oh, it's the Lionsgate portal. That's what
coming up.
I wonder, because sometimes I'll go through a little phase where I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not getting, and then all of a sudden I have a week where it's like every reading is fire. And so I think it probably does have to do with the energies.
Possibly.
Or Schumann resonance or something.
Yeah.
It was going crazy like the last 6 hours, I think.
That's what I heard. What do you know about the Schumann resonance, Nick?
Well, I mean, it seems to precede, big consciousness events, for sure. I know that there's at least a little bit that, like that last time it went all crazy, like the DNA looking stuff. I don't know if you remember that, but that was evidently extraterrestrial, vibrationally related, from what I understand, that one anyway, and it's supposed to happen again at some point. So if it does do that again, then that's supposed to be the second confirmation that that first one was true, and that, if that makes sense. But
I wonder if that had anything to do with Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne and
Malcolm.
what's his name? Malcolm, yeah, from the Cosby Show dying. Weird how they always comes in like threes or fours.
threes.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne is like HHOO, and like
Oh my God, I
don't
didn't even
know.
put that together. But I thought, why everybody at the same week?
LMNO. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to do a little gematria in my mind, but so
Or G.
you know what? I do have a question though, just out of curiosity. I don't know if you'd be able to answer this, but you know, I've been really trying to figure out. I'm not going to go specific here, but been trying to figure out if some ancient figures actually existed or whether they didn't actually exist. And personally, I don't know if it really even matters, but I think that you might be able to clarify this a little bit. So, on the other side, whether we're talking about tulpas or egregores, so thought forms or egregores, do you think that those egregores, since you have mass consciousness almost manifesting it at that point, everybody believing it at that point, do you think that they actually do exist on that other side? Was that energy created by belief in so many people, whether they're praying or talking or
Oh.
whatever? Do you think that they could possibly exist on the other side? Like as
That's interesting. Like
something?
you create, like, do you mean like creatures or other beings?
I'll get specific.
know
Fuck
much-
it.
yeah,
I'll just go all
it's-
the way. There are some
yeah.
people that question if Jesus, for example, ever
Okay.
truly existed
Okay.
as human in the flesh, or was it some kind of mystical story of sorts? And I'm not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers. I'm not saying one way
No,
or
yeah,
another.
I'll
but
say that with respect, with respect to. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I can't tell you I know all the things, but what has resonated for me in a lot of the interviews I've done with near-death experiencers, I've never personally had encounters with Jesus. I pray to Jesus as a God, as like a ascended master. I always say, God, Jesus, like I believe in. I think it was Dennis, wasn't it, Sean? Like talked about Christ consciousness. How
Yeah, he
that's
did.
that
Yep.
is a
Mhm.
his idea, and this I'm open to all of it. So I'm not saying Jesus did not exist. I believe Jesus was a person. Whether or not he was one of my best friends is very Christian. She's like, he was the Son of God. Literally, he was God that decided to and I'm not saying that's not true because I don't know for sure. But what's always made sense to me is more like he is a guy. Like he did exist. And I think that he was trying to spread like Christ consciousness, which is God consciousness. I think he knew what was up. I think at least when he said, I am the Son of God, he was right. Whether he was like a chosen ascended one, I can't tell you. But what resonates for me more is that he was a guy that was really preaching like, we're all one, we're all God. And like, he got it. And I know that's not exactly answering your question, but it's like, or did we create that with our own, because this story, it was fable, let's say, was created, and then he actually came to exist. So of course, that's a really deeply
right, and I
philosophical
guess
question.
The reason I ask that is because there's been a lot of gods that people have believed in, and they felt like they've been communicating with them, even
Yeah.
though they were essentially maybe philosophical or spiritual. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine personally that there was ever a human dude named Odin.
Yeah,
But
right,
people
right.
have connected to Odin. People have connected
Yes.
to Thor. Like if you're into the whole Norse paganism kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing
do.
goes for like Hecate or,
Yes.
people like that maybe they didn't necessarily exist as human, but people are still coming in contact with these energies and these things, so I don't know. That's where I go with it. Like, would you be able to, are they existing on the other side? I don't know.
Only because I don't have that experience I think I wouldn't know personally, because even if I'm connecting with them, I don't think I would know, or I don't personally know. I might doubt myself and be like, am I really communicating with that? But I have done like spells and things where I call upon those. For me personally, it's more of like an energy, like Christ consciousness, like Odin, whatever. It's yeah, like it's a
There are
it's
archetypes.
yes, that's the word.
Mhm.
I think that, yeah, like I do believe in Christ consciousness, and I don't claim to know what that is. I know that my friend is very adamant that no, he is literally God, and I'm like, I'm
yeah,
not
you're
saying
gonna
you're
have
wrong.
people
I'm just
like
saying
that.
it doesn't necessarily resonate with me yet. I'm open-minded about it. I'm not saying it does or it doesn't. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm interested in like researching more proof that he actually exists. And I'm sure there's so many ideas. Yeah, but again, I think that's something that we'll never know until we really get there.
Well, I guess
You're there.
you know what? Let me give you a more, maybe a little bit more contrived example. So, our boy, Marv, who is right behind Sean, he's the green octopus alien. We've created him as a tulpa. It's essentially, that's the reason why I wear this servitor necklace that Lord Byron Jester made, essentially to, whenever he was making these necklaces to turn it into a servitor, he was like, holy shit, he was already there, and it's like, already where? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, already, where are you, like, already where, like, it's just so fun to think about. But I don't know. I mean, I believe that you can create energies and stuff like that, and I believe that you can create
too.
essentially like these thought forms, which are turned into tulpas, and if you get enough people to believe in it, then they turn into egregores, right? It was
Makes
the
sense.
longest time that people didn't, Santa Claus is relatively new, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't go back that far depending on what source you get from. But whenever you start getting mass scale talking about Santa Claus, and you're only having little kids believe in it anyway, but is even that enough to create that energy on the other side to be able to communicate with?
I'm sure anything's possible. All I know is I don't know. And that's why I'm like, hey, I respect all religions as long as they are peaceful, loving, kind, and hurt nobody.
Right.
I respect and say, hey, I could be wrong. All life experience personally, like I haven't had any experiences with dark entities. I don't know. So I can't say they don't exist. I just don't know that they do. I can only trust what other people have had experience with and say it's possible. And also, I haven't personally experienced a haunting or something like that. I just know that as a medium, I just know that I know things. And I just and we all do. We all are mediums. I don't have any stronger. We're all able to connect with the other side. It's just a matter of learning the language, practicing it, and being obsessed with it enough to be patient enough to learn the language. Unless you're someone that was born, because a lot of people are born seeing, and so I think I was, and I just shut it down kind of because I remember seeing one spirit when I was a kid, but I was like 3, so I can't really. I'm like, was it a dream? Was it real? I remember seeing a man walking down my driveway with a top hat, and I was crying and calling him No Man. And my dad was just so creepy. And my dad would say, I would always cry and like that there was this guy called No Man, but I sort of remember him. He was like tall and spindly and had like a cane and a top hat and like a long coat. He looked like the Peanuts guy, like the peanut
Right.
guy. Like what's that guy's?
Mr.
But-
Peanut.
Yeah, like with this monocle or what, like he kind of looked like but I don't know. But now because I was 3, I don't know. Was I imagined? I don't know. Was I hallucinating? Did I really see it? And is it a fake memory? I now know that I just kind of shut that down because I was so sensitive. And then I just basically asked to open. I was like, I want to open it up again.
Mhm.
Whenever you're getting a reading or you're reading somebody, do you ever feel that you connect with possible extraterrestrial
Ooh,
entity,
if I did, I
energy?
wouldn't know. I wouldn't know because I could have that thought, but I'd be like, did I make that up? I wouldn't have the validation. So, for example, the reason I like doing mediumship is there's immediate validation. So, like if I say to you, and in fact, I kept having this image in my mind. It may be nothing, but you know how we did play this game last time where I'm like, what's the first? Slow Shannon, ADHD brain. I kept seeing as we were talking, because I'm still trying to pick stuff up, I'm like, is there something that somebody has about a cheeseburger that's like a joke? So I don't know if it's McDonald's specifically, but it's like someone that would have loved cheeseburgers, or it's like a nickname, or there's something funny about cheeseburgers. Now, If no one can take that, I may have just invented it, but I kept seeing a cheeseburger in the back of my mind. So if I say to my sitter, there's someone here that's talking about cheeseburgers, and they're like, oh my God, that's my grandpa. Like, he loved cheeseburgers, and that was like our big joke. Then I know, okay, I'm right. If someone's like, if I'm like seeing an alien in my mind's eye and I hear some name, Alethioth, like, I'd be like, I have no idea if I made that up. I have no idea, unless I was like, had a vivid experience, like I was sleeping and had like a very vivid experience. All I know is I've done enough readings to know that there have been so many times where I'm like, there's no possible way I could have made that up. There's no possible way I could have known that. And so I just want to tell you, I have a friend on the other side, and our thing, I don't even know why, but it's rubber duckies, because it's a joke between him and one of our mutual friends. And she put rubber duckies on her album in his honor. So I don't even know where it started from, but that's become the universal Derek sign, is showing us rubber duckies. So a couple weeks ago, I'm like, hey, Derek, can you show me a sign that you're here? And I look in back of me, and there's a truck in back of me that has rubber duckies lined up all along, like instantly, right in that moment. I'm like, thank you. And then I got home and someone said, hey, I've got this little animated film that I want to do, and wonder if you could voice one of the characters. So I'm reading the script, and my character says to the other character, hey, we're in a Cessna. And I'm like, what are you doing? And the other character is like, I'm just lining up these ducks. Like, she's lining up ducks on the wit as she's talking. And I like, that was the action. I'm like, that is wild. And then I'm getting chills right now about it. And then I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago. I would drop the name, but I cannot remember it right now. And I was doing the exercise I did with you guys, where I said to them, all right, and I want to do it with you guys too. So I said to them, all right, for example, what's the first thing that comes to your mind right now? Just anything, like, literally don't even think it. And she goes, yellow rubber ducky. And I was like, you just did it. That's a sign from my friend Derek. Like, it's that simple. It's like, if I say, Sean, what's the first thing that comes to your mind right now?
Water.
Okay. That's fine. Jonathan.
You suck.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
Like an image. Well, we'll go back to it. Yeah. So like, Jonathan, just like let something drop in and don't even overthink it. Just what's the first thing that comes into your mind?
Red truck.
Okay. That's perfect. Now, I don't know exactly what that is, but possibly there is a spirit on the other side who drives a red truck, and we won't try to make it fit if it doesn't, but literally that's how I see it. It's like, Nick, what's the first thing that comes into your mind right now?
Well, after those two, it was fire truck.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, and like maybe so let's just say that you're sitting with someone and you're like, okay, so I'm feeling into this. I'm seeing a fire truck. All right, is there someone that's a firefighter? It's so simple. It's like not I'll get chills if I'm right. I'll get chills if I'm on the right track. But it's that simple. It's literally just like, okay, I see a worm. Like, you don't even realize what's going on in the back of your mind. So sometimes It's just a matter of sitting with it. And just being like, why am I seeing like an earthworm, or like that worm from like the Richard Scarry books? It was like, the little lowly worm or whatever. Or I'll hear a name, Chloe. Just things like that just pass through our brains, and we don't even know. Sometimes it's your thought. Sometimes it's spirit's thought. And the job of a medium is to like, which is my thought and which is that. But you get that. It takes years. And for me anyway, it took years and years of doing it consistently, where I was like, okay, now I know what a yes, when I get it right, what that felt like. When I was wrong, now that I think about it, I wasn't feeling it as much as I was thinking it. It's such a subtle difference. So, and again, then there also has to be the energy of the person, and then the energy of the person on the other side, and you're all playing a game of charades. So it's like, a lot of times I'm really good at names most of the time, but not always. Sometimes they are like, names don't matter to us. Like, that's not what's important. What's important is the love we felt. What's important is, I gave my son, like when I passed, I gave them like, it wasn't something material. It was like a handful of change that belonged to me that was always in my pocket or something. Or like there'd be like a grandfather that's like always had change in his pocket, and that's like the gift. And how do I know that? Because I just see it. I see change. I just see change in my hand, and then I feel into it and I say, what about the change? You gave it. Okay, it's like a gift. It's so subtle. And like I said, sometimes it's stronger than others. And sometimes it's when I'm not even trying.
Right.
And sometimes I'm trying and nothing's happening. So
Right.
I get, like I said, with Nora, I'm not sure it was the strongest connection, but there were things there that I'm like, I can feel someone's there and I know they're there. So I'm sure I'm connected. I just don't know if I'm interpreting this correctly.
Right.
So
It,
it's
it
a
sounds
real,
like it
yeah.
would be. I'm sorry to cut you off. It
No,
sounds like
please
it
do.
would be really hard to try not to overthink it. You know what I mean? Instead of using a visual cue, because you saw something and then you say it, it's like just the thing that just hits your brain instantly. Instead of trying to overthink it and
Yeah.
change it like I did. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
it's the overthinking that gets in your way. I feel like,
It is.
at
And
least
that's,
from what you're explaining.
no, that's exactly what it is. And that's why sometimes you just have to throw yourself into it. So I'm not sure if
Right.
I said this on the last one, but I did a group reading in person and that went really well. And I'd never done one before. And I was nervous because I'm like, what if I get up there and nothing happens? And I got there. And as soon as I walked through the door, I felt spirit. And I'm like, okay, you're here. But then the first thing I saw was a pig. And I'm like, oh my God, what? What if I don't want to say a pig and be wrong? What if it's,
Yeah.
and then I just got up and I said, there's a pig here and I'm seeing the pig sleeping in a dog bed. And the woman in front of me said, yeah, that's my pig Daisy. And she always used to sleep in the dog bed. And I was like, I'm
Right.
seeing her running around with the dogs like she thinks she's a
Right.
dog. And she's like, yeah, I had to trust that because I'm like, there's no way.
Mhm.
I'm like,
And if
that,
you would
did
have
I,
overthought that and said, I
Uh-huh.
don't want to say pig, then you would have missed out on that entire connection
Yeah.
with somebody.
yeah. And that's, sometimes you just got to say the weird thing. And just, and know that it's not about you. It's not about me being wrong. I'm like, so what if you're wrong? It's like, who cares? I mean, it's
Mhm.
obviously if it's a professional reading and I'm wrong the whole time, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm giving you a refund. It's like the worst thing that can happen is it's just not a go that day. But I've heard some of the best mediums in the world say sometimes I have to refund people. It's just, I don't have control over it.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I mean,
you
and
do it
there's-
very gracefully. I would just want to let you know that.
Thank
Like you were
you.
just on top of it, not giving in to any kind of pressure or I'm not finding the connection. You were just kind of real cool about it.
I just trust that spirit brings what needs to be. If there's something so important that has to be said, it will get through.
Mhm.
It'll get through, and in the most wild ways. I don't know. I don't want to take up all the time, but tell me how much time we have.
Oh, we have as much time or
Okay.
as little time as you need. But no, I was just going to say, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't really pan out that way. And it's strange too. And that's why, I've really been starting to look into astrology a little bit more nowadays because I feel like I'm doing everything that I should be doing for the most part, working out and eating healthy and maintaining my level of stress and making sure I meditate somewhat frequently and, being thoughtful with a lot of the actions that I do. And yet still, for some reason or another, you feel different from day to day. And
Yeah.
you're like, man, I'm doing everything that I need to do. What is different from today than yesterday? Because it feels like a carbon copy of yesterday, except for today I'm not connected. And yesterday I was super connected. And to be honest, I've been feeling this way this entire day today. So I'm not even really shocked that you're kind of, going through what you're going
Yeah.
through. But I felt this way earlier, literally. So on my other show on the Cult of Conspiracy, we do, sometimes we'll have guests, and sometimes if we're doing a show, Jacob will kind of take lead on that show, or I'll take lead on a specific show. And I did a show earlier, and I was like, damn, Jacob, I'm sorry, bro. I fucked that one all the way up. Like I was just bad. And he goes, I thought you did all right. It wasn't that,
Right.
but internally I'm like, my God, I'm just dropping the ball big time on this one.
Yeah.
And I've done thousands of shows. There's no reason for me to have everybody has a
know.
bad day, but I just wonder if today, July 28th, it's a Monday. We're not usually used to shooting on a Monday night.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
strange how
energies-
astrologically maybe it lines up. Maybe it's a Schumann resonance thing. I don't know, but
There's so many factors, and when you're a woman, you're like, is it hormones, or like is it that like half the time we're like, I feel great, and the rest of the time we feel like shit, and it's like, is this hormones, or is this the Schumann resonance, or is this the moon? And I think there's so many different factors, or like how much water you drank, or like how much circadian sleep you got. But that's the thing, our energies are always changing, and sometimes it lines right up and sometimes it doesn't. But what I have learned is usually it doesn't matter like what my vibration is. If it's important, spirit will make sure I say it. So I've had a reading where I was like, I have COVID and I do not feel good. And this is going to suck. And then it was like, nope. It was like fire because it was a need. It was important. And I had this really cool experience where talking about a need, I one day was decided out of the blue. I'm like, I have to have a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. Like, it's one of my favorite bands. Why have I never, ever bought a t-shirt? And so I spent a while looking for one. I'm like, no, these are like not cool. These are dorky, like Target brand ones. And so then I went to the airport the next day and I noticed a woman wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. And I was like, oh, that's such a funny coincidence. I'm like, oh, wow. And then I got on the plane and the woman with the Led Zeppelin t-shirt sat next to me. And then her husband sat next to me. And then her daughter-in-law sat next to me and her son sat next to me. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. And so I started talking to her. I was like, I literally almost got a t-shirt last night. And then for some reason, I just turned to the girl next to me. And I don't know why I said it, but it was like, oh yeah, because I'm a medium. I don't know why I even just blurted that out. But I mentioned that I was a medium to her within 2 seconds. And she's like, oh, wow, that's wild. Because she's like 24 at the time. She goes, yeah, my mom just passed pretty recently. And I was like, thinking in my head, I want to give her a reading, but I don't want, what if I can't do it? You know, I'm not prepared. Like, I don't know if I don't want to tell her I'm going to do it and then suck and like make it worse for her. So I was like, I said, you know, when we get back, like we both land where we need to go, like, let's get on Zoom someday. I'd love to, cause she's so young. I'm like, I'd love to do a reading for you. But then I just said, Spirit, like, just tell me something, like, tell me something. And I said, I looked at her, I go, was her name Marie? She's like, that was her middle name. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's a lot of people's middle names. So, and then I'm just like, okay. I said, did somebody just have spine surgery? She goes, yeah, my father-in-law sitting next to you. It's like, oh. And I go, who's Steven? She goes, he is. I'm like, Steven
What?
had spine surgery.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I said, your mom died of cancer. Yeah. Okay. So did lots of people. There's like a Yorkie in her lap when she dies. She's like, yes. She's like, I have the Yorkie now.
Oh.
And then I'm like, okay. Her mom planned this whole thing out, like where we were seated, the Led Zeppelin thing. And then I said, I'm seeing like who's traveling back and forth. I'm seeing like little pins on a map, you know, like those red pins. She's like, my mom, she was always traveling. She's a flight attendant. And I was like, okay. So here we are on a plane. And I'm like, and then I said, who's Elmer? And she's like, oh, no, I said, like, why is she talking about Palm Springs? And she's like, because we used to meet up there when she'd be like on a layover or whatever. And then I said, who's Elmer? She's like, that's the restaurant we would eat at when I went there. I was like, no, that's crazy. I was like, so then this went on for like hours. The woman, I could almost like hear her voice. I said, she's talking about cigarettes she smoked. And I said, I'm asking her, what cigarettes did you smoke? And she said, Golden. And she said, she smoked Marlboro Golds. I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that. And then I said, you're going to have 2 kids, girls, and you're going to name one of them Savannah. And she goes, look at my phone, Shannon. I wrote down, and she woke her husband up. She's like, girl's name Savannah. So I said, she's like, Savannah Grace, that's the name that we were saying we want to name our kid. So at this point, I'm just wondering, how come I'm just on this plane, minding my own business, and this woman's giving me validation like there's no possible way. There's no way. And then even after I got off the plane, and more happened, but it's like a long, long thing. The next day I said, hey, to the Spirit, anything else you want me to tell Maddie? Because we had each other's number by now. And she's like, a koala stuffed animal. And I said, did you go to Australia? She's like, my mom did, but I didn't get a stuffed koala. I'm like, okay. She's showing me like herself with a koala. So she sends me a picture of her mom holding a koala in Australia. And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, I guess that's what it is. And then like 2 hours later, she wrote, holy fucking shit, Shannon. She's like, I was just cleaning my house. I found a stuffed koala and I remember she did give me that.
Wow.
So it's like,
Wow.
I'm getting full body chills again. So like that kind of thing is like whenever I'm like, I guess I'm not that good at that. Like, it's just, you have to know, it's like some things have to come together in just the perfect way.
You're
It's
almost
like-
just a conduit for
You
that
literally-
information to flow.
Most of the time I can do, you know, when I do a reading, it's we're in. Like when we sit down with the intention to do that, that's what happens. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Sometimes you're like, come on,
Oh,
give
and
me
I can
something.
tell you on that too. I mean, there's been times where I've done past life regressions, and it goes so easy.
right.
And it'll go easy with people who I think will probably have a difficult time with it. And then there'll be some other people, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one will be easy, and then it doesn't work. And not everybody's kind of like ready for, stuff like that, or maybe they're closed off to it. They don't want to surrender to it. They don't like not having any kind of control whenever they go into a hypnosis or deep meditation or anything. And I've always felt like the timing has to be right for that person. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. You're the facilitator.
That's it. Yeah. Nicholas, what are your thoughts, sir?
Question for Shannon. Does like the signals and feelings and things that happen, does yawning mean anything to you whenever it comes to signals?
Not for me personally,
No.
but like, do you mean as far as like a sign that spirit's with
Yeah.
you? For me personally, no. But is that something that you feel?
Yes, for sure. I was
Yeah.
just curious if
Some
that
people have
ever.
different nervous systems. Like, for example, I mean, some people, we all do. I feel tingles only on my right side. I don't know why that is. Other people might feel it on their left side. And I've had other mediums say, I feel it only on my right side too. Like right now, I'm feeling like I know there's spirit with us because when we talk about them and we talk about the process, they're so excited to like that we're getting it and that we're communicating with them. And so sometimes I don't know, it's like, is it a spirit guide or is it someone's, mom or something? And that's, I usually just say, who is it? Like, who's there? In this case, it feels more like our collective souls
Right.
kind of hanging around and they're like, yeah, you get it. Like, I'm so glad that you see us. And then when you do see them or see a sign from them, it's always good to say, thank you, I see you, because then they'll just realize that you get it and it'll be easier for them to start showing you things, knowing that you get their language. And then it gets easier and easier. And there's some souls like Maddie's mom that are just so easy to connect with. And I don't know why they're so good at it. But she said she was like that in person. She's a really good communicator. She was very high energy. She said she reminds me of you a lot. And I think also it's like our frequency. Like her mom and we're just instant best friends from the other side because her mom was just like bubbly and loved people and like talking and loved travel. So she was very high energy and still is. And I consider her sort of one of my unofficial guides, like sometimes because I've been able to connect with her. Anytime I bring her up, she gives me chills. And I've kept in touch with her daughter, who's like my little sister now.
That's like comforting to know that there are people on the other side, and it's like, don't even trip. You're like, we're over here, we're watching over you, we're with you at every moment, we're with your sister at every moment, we're with your kids at every moment. It's like, it's comforting to know that it's almost like, I don't know, just everywhere all the time, and that's cool because everybody worries about what's going to happen as soon as that time comes. And it's really like, this is the hard part. It seems like this reality is the hard part. So we should be celebrating being able to go on the other side, whether it is jumping into another cycle of reincarnation or just taking some time off and just like floating around in the ether or whatever. It's like, it seems like a pretty good time on that side,
Everyone describes it as like perfection. It's like no matter what you choose to do, you're cool, you're good.
And
There's
I like to
stress.
imagine that that's what we experience whenever we're in some kind of trance state, no matter what that is. Like I think that whenever you go into a super deep meditation, like, man, there's just ultimate peace that you get. And we actually just did, we mentioned Sadhguru in the most recent episode about how he knew that he was kind of like a guru or on his way to enlightenment or whatever, whenever he went into a deep meditation, and he didn't even know that he was in there for very long. Turns out he was meditating for 6 straight days. And he goes, I knew then whenever I came out that all of this is just an illusion, and it's given a facade that it's not all together, that it's all segregated and disconnected and stuff like that, but it's really all just one thing. Because whenever he was that deep in meditation, he was able to see that like this is all just a dream, essentially.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff, like whenever you're able to just look around and be like, oh, wow, this could just be, just be part of a dream. It's not even like a real reality. It makes it more fun in that sense. And if you really think about it, like whether you call it a dream or a nightmare, I mean, that's heaven and hell, right? Like call it whatever you want almost. It's almost the same exact thing. But, Nora, you have your hand up, dear. What's on your mind?
Shannon, oh my God. I can't believe it took me this long to have this revelation about your reading. First, thank you so much for reading into the people that I've known that have passed on. But there is a person, and I cannot believe that I forgot about him.
I can, because this happens all the time. That's why I was like, I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm just going to wait for the boomerang to come back. Yeah.
Other than the name Rick or Dick, everything else from the woodworking, the alcohol, the cancer, and the pain in the chest, that is my granddaddy, my mother's birth father.
Oh,
Got it. And so, yeah, and I don't even know if Rick is it was from earlier today. Okay, thank you.
What was his
wait,
name, though, Nora?
Can
Just
we
out
get
of
into wait, don't tell
curiosity.
me yet. But
Oh.
yes, I do want to know, but don't tell me yet. I know, because I wanted to say like Charles or something like that, but I'm not quite sure. So this would be, okay, tell me, recap for me, Nora. Thank you, Nora, for letting me know. What were the things that resonated? Because sometimes if I repeat them, it kind of brings him back.
We're back in business, baby.
The woodworking, the alcoholism,
Okay.
the not being as good of a father as he could have been to my mother.
To your mother. Is that what you said? Your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Thank you. It's called psychic amnesia, and it's totally normal. It happens in every reading. I always get emails like the next day being like, oh my gosh, I just realized this. So that's why I've learned not to panic, because I'm like, okay, we're on the show. And, like I want it to resonate, but it's not about me. It's about the message getting through the way it's meant to get through. And so that would make sense that he was apologizing to your mother about not really being, was he sort of in and out throughout her life and not like consistent? Because it seems like he was there sometimes and not other times. And it felt to me like when I was seeing, and I don't know if he drank Miller Lite, but that was like, I kept seeing him with like a gold can of beer. And a lot of times the disappearing had to do with that, but also it was sort of like escaping from, escaping from everything, from like his responsibility, but it just felt like, did he start another family or something?
Yes, and kinda. I'm not sure of the kind of alcohol he was into, but yes, he was very much in and out of my mother's life because of the alcoholism.
Sorry, was there someone named Danny?
Okay.
Keep it in mind, just in case. I spit it out because sometimes things just like suddenly come, and I didn't want to overlook it. And I don't know that cheeseburgers have to do with him, but I'm just running that by you again. Again, that's something I could have totally made up in my mind, but I just wanted to see about that. But that makes sense as long as those things match. I think that's why he's. And there's something about his wedding ring. He just showed me. So what is it? It just looks like a plain gold band, and I have the feeling of like. Obviously, when someone passes, people inherit this ring. But did someone put it on a chain? There's something about his wedding ring that feels important. Do you know what that would be like? Oh, go ahead.
Perhaps it's not a ring, but one of the things that my mother kept, and they rekindled their relationship before he passed. And the way that he passed was also cancer. He had a coughing fit. He said that he had a big weight in his chest right before he died. But my mom saved his watch that he always wore, that's silver in color, in my kitchen right now.
Okay, I wonder if that's what it is. Like something. I don't want to make that one fit, even though that's great. I think it's also like, see if something comes up about his actual wedding ring. It may be that your mom has it. It may be that someone put it on a chain or something. Was he married up until the end or not? Or did your grandma leave him or whatever?
His second wife, I called her my great aunt, but his second wife passed a year before he did.
Okay.
And what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? It was the anniversary of his death.
Oh, I don't know what it'll come. I think it's all these. I'll tell you, all I see is his hand and a wedding ring. And so again, sometimes I don't know what that, that could be a million things, but let me just see if he wants to say anything about it. I almost feel just come back. If it does come to you, let Jonathan or Sean know. Cause I do feel like it's something where I don't think you know it. I think you probably just don't know. But it's like he's either pointing to like his wedding ring, and I don't think it's about the marriage, but about the ring itself. So I'm going to trust myself on this one only because I see it pretty clearly. So, but again, you just might not have that information, and your mom might say, "Oh my God, I actually just took his wedding ring out, or put it on a chain, or something of that nature." And then there's also something just I think about the place he was buried, but I'm trying to figure out why he's talking about that. It's like, was he actually buried as opposed to cremated? Do you know? I guess
He cremated.
okay. Was he put in? Was there a headstone anyway, even though it was ashes? There's something about having a headstone, and it might be like a family plot kind of a situation. Um, it's something about it was such a little flash, and it just saw like a headstone. So was there some like disagreement about whether he was to be buried or cremated? Do you know?
No,
Okay.
he wanted to be cremated. He actually didn't care either way, but
Okay.
he was cremated. Half of his ashes were spread on some kind of somewhere in the Atlantic, some kind of
Oh, in the
bay.
ocean?
Yeah. But
Oh,
the
that's nice.
other half of his ashes are actually in a urn in
An urn.
the living room right now.
Okay. I don't know what this is, but there's something about like a family, like I'm buried in I can't quite tell what it is. But there is some kind of a headstone that feels important. And he'll have to let me know what it is. But also, was he in the military at any point?
Yes, ma'am. He
Okay,
was.
because I just saw that. I just saw like the American flag and I don't know did he literally have a military funeral? Because I just saw like the flag being placed over. Because it feels like there's a military cemetery or something. So even if his ashes aren't in it, there might still be like a little headstone. It's white, almost looks like. So I don't know if that's him, but he just said like I'm in the military, and so I didn't know if that had to do with if we're piecing those things together, like the headstone, the military. It just for some reason he's showing just if any of those things come together, the wedding ring, it's like a white headstone, but he's saying I'm not buried with like my ashes are here and like, but there's still a headstone that has my name on it. Do you know anything about that?
Not
Okay.
about the headstone.
Okay.
That could relate to my other
It
grandfather.
could as well. Okay.
At
Yeah.
my granddaddy's funeral, a celebration of life, he had an American flag semi draped over one side of his coffin.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that American flag, which is like how I knew that he was military, just because he showed me that draped over. And then I just wanted to know though, is there like a dog named Charlie on the other? Is there someone named Charlie? And if it isn't, it's a dog named Charlie. Do you have a dog?
They at some point had a dog. I'm not sure about the name though.
Okay. I've had this feeling like he's with a dog on the other side because I'm hearing Charlie. So you might have to, I don't know if your mom's open to this kind of stuff, but I definitely heard Charlie. And when I leaned into it, I'm like, I think it's actually a dog. So just keep that in mind as well. Um, there's somebody that has like a Mexican or Spanish name, like Alberto or something. Is that on your side? Uh, Nora, I just thought I heard like Alberto. Anybody have that name? That's a really unusual name. So that I've never had. It feels like someone speaking Spanish. Do you have anyone in your
Mm.
family that's of Spanish descent or Mexican?
Not of Spanish descent. However, my my family's so complicated.
Yeah.
Um, my step grandfather, on my mother's side, I call him Poppy. He's not of Spanish descent. However, he speaks fluent Spanish,
Oh,
and he wanted my mom to call him Poppy, like father.
oh, huh. I don't know what but I thought like I heard like Alberto or something. I just thought, I don't know if that's it, but again, if anyone thinks of that later, but thank you for letting me know because I'm like, I know there's something here, but sometimes it just takes a minute to put the pieces together and it's not your fault. It's also that there's other stuff that if I say the name Rick, you might be thinking, oh no, it has to be that name, and like, I still feel like there's a Rick somewhere in the mix, but I don't
Ooh.
know. It could be totally unrelated. It could be someone, I have spirits in my house. Like it could be totally for somebody different. But sometimes when I say things and like one of the things doesn't fit, that might throw
I
you off.
The only Rick that comes to mind is an ex of my mother's. She almost married, and he took his own life several years ago.
Okay, that would be for sure. Like I mean, if he's on the other side, but so did this happen like were they still going to get married or had they called that off and then he passed?
They called that off because, plot twist, he was also an alcoholic. And after they broke up, my mom never said it in front of me,
Yeah.
but she used to call him Rick the Dick.
Oh my God.
It was there the whole time.
Nora, why are you hoarding? You just talked about how you had family that were hoarders. You're over there
What the
hoarding
heck,
fucking
Nora?
information, dude.
It's Rick the Dick.
Come
That's who it
on.
was the whole time.
That's insane.
That's the thing too, is like, I think because we have expectations of who we might hear from sometimes, and maybe you didn't, but like sometimes we think, oh, my grandma's going to come through. But even if you didn't, I just got chills. If you didn't have a personal relationship with Rick, your mom did. So even if she hated his guts, right? He's still, from a soul level, still coming through. Usually to apologize, for that kind of behavior. But it makes so much sense because I keep hearing Rick, and like Dick at the same time. So that it would make sense that that's just him coming through.
That's so funny.
Rick
the Dick.
that makes sense. I mean, there you go. So the pieces do come together. Sometimes it's like a jigsaw. It's like it's kind of like it takes a while to kind of come together. Usually if I had sat with you, if we'd just been you and me for like by the end of it, we'd go, oh my God, I figured it all out. All the pieces are coming together. And so thank you for speaking up because that does. I'm like, I know there's a spirit. I feel it. Like I can feel it.
Shannon will be able to sleep tonight now.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Shannon, for doing everything that you do.
You're so
and
sweet.
Being able to connect to everybody on that side.
You're so sweet and Southern, and I just adore you. You're like so sweet, and yeah, that's what it would be. It would be Rick coming through in one piece. Like Rick is no longer tortured soul. Rick is on the other side, but more importantly, I can't say this because I haven't heard him say it directly, but I know from experience that he would be apologizing to you and or any kind of havoc that he caused, because that's what spirit, they have their life review and they realize, like, I was just, messed up and I didn't want to treat you like that. And I wasn't capable of loving you because I couldn't cope with my own stuff.
I think old Rick the Dick wanted us to take the scenic route tonight, which is fine. We got there.
You got us.
Thank you, Nora, for that and sharing that, because I know it's personal stuff, so it means a lot that you were able to share your vulnerability publicly, which no one's judging. I know not everybody's comfortable, so thank you for making it. That's it. Okay, that makes so much. Makes so much sense. But you also see how it can be. It's not all I see is images, right? Or and sometimes I'll get something totally clear, but a lot of times it's just let me show you this, let me show you this, let me show you this. And so you and me and Rick have to come together, and your grandpa on your mom's side have to come together to put the pieces together. And so it can be like, let's play a game of charades, sounds like, looks like, and then we forget. And then, like I said, every time someone the next day is like, I just remembered. So I'm glad you said something.
That was awesome.
That
was
was
a big.
awesome.
That was like a grand finale.
That was,
You know.
if anyone stuck around, because they're like, this bitch doesn't know what she's doing. Fraud. But
She does know what she's doing.
thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have major chills right now. So I just think Rick's, even if he was a dick, he now is pure love. He even is pure love and sees the error of his ways, and just like, I still want to know if there's some gold bracelet involved with Rick, like a baby something about a bracelet or something. Your mom might have it. So just, you might want to, if she's okay with talking about this stuff with you, you might kind of run some of it by her, because I feel like there's more. But I think that was a good example of how it can be kind of, it's not a perfect science. It's little snips, little dribs and drabs. And I'm like, what'd you say? It's like talking through a kid. You're like, try to get the, yeah. There's no one named Chloe, though, right? That's something I might have made up earlier.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We might need 2 more hours to get to that one, but
I know.
man, this is so awesome. And look, I loved seeing it like all, unfold. Like that was
It is
really
fun
cool.
for me. It's fun for me too. So in a way, sometimes you just got to have patience. I've learned to be like, nope, I know I'm getting it. Don't doubt it. Even if they say no, just keep going. Like, don't.
Right.
A client just reached out to me last week. She's like, but he's not saying what I want him to say. And I was like, I don't know what he's showing me a dragonfly. Well, yes, that was very important to him, but what does he want to say? And I was like,
But what does it mean?
Yeah, and I'm like, he wants you to know he's there. He's mentioning dragonflies. And she's like, that was huge. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, I have to talk to you right now. I realized some more things. So, and I actually like it when people do that. I'm like, please, so that I know that I was on the right track.
Right. Yes.
Well, you don't have to prove anything to us, because I mean, already you have given me just the most amazing reading. That's one of the things I've told Jonathan just recently, that whenever I think back to that's one of those mystical type of spiritual experiences that really brings me back. It's like, okay, there's definitely something to that. Whenever you start to get a little more logical leaning, and then you think back to something like that, and it's like, there's no way that she could have came up with all of those keywords that just lined up so perfectly with my stepdad.
And I just saw again that scar I told you he had on his stomach, and like he just showed me his belly with a scar down his again, and I'm like, just saying he's there again. Like
shout out Bobby.
Yeah. He had no problem showing that off. You know what I mean? He would just show strangers, if they, just like,
that's why he's showing it again. He like lifted it. It's like he's like showing me his belly with the long scar down it as like a.
Oh yeah. He's funny.
Yeah. That's how I picture him.
I love it, dude. Oh, I just
so
love
much.
this kind of stuff. It's
Me
just,
too.
it's, what do you do with it? How do you compartmentalize it? I don't even know if you're supposed to
You're not. You're just
compartmentalize
supposed
it.
to know that there's more. And that even though I say I don't have all the answers, I don't know. Was Jesus a guy? Was he an ascended master? Is he God in a human form? I'm open to it all. I know anything's possible, but I'm going to be a skeptic until I see it for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Sean, what is that tarot card, sir?
We got the 9 of Pentacles. And we were talking about pentacles earlier.
Get out of here.
Well, so
I have pulled that card like 3 times for myself in the last 3 days.
really,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
I keep pulling it over and over and over.
Usually I have to shuffle quite a bit to get something to happen, and this one just kind of popped right out.
Because it was for me.
It like leaped out. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because I keep
right.
pulling it for myself this week.
So the 9 of Pentacles, it says, luxuriate in your prosperity, feeling gratitude for all that you've been able to achieve. This is our first time ever pulling this card on the show.
Yep.
It says, the 9 of Pentacles implores you to relax and enjoy the comfortable surroundings you've cultivated for yourself. A woman stands in her garden, serene and unafraid to get her hands dirty despite her lavish flower-printed robe, which is reminiscent of the robe worn by the Empress. She knows how to receive the energies of abundance and is equally suited to putting in any work necessary to tend to her home. On her hand sits a bird wearing a hood, a symbol of her instinct to guard against materialism while enjoying prosperity. The upright key meanings of it are success and enjoyment, and the spiritual connotation to it says, you've been putting your energy into making your home more personal and comforting by redecorating or renovating. Or if you've been away from your home, you've spent time taking a vacation and relaxing. Focus on what brings you the most peace, enjoyment, rejuvenates your spirit. Hell yeah.
All right.
This is
Solid.
it. This is what I love to do. So we're doing it. And this is what you guys love to do.
This is, yeah.
It's the best.
Oh, dude, it's
the
like
best.
whenever I went to Arizona and me and Sean picked me up from the airport, and I was like, you know what, dude, like for the longest time this song came out, and I just imagined that's gonna be my life one day. That's gonna be my life one day. And it's called, it's by the Dirty Heads. It's called Vacation. And it's like, hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. And I was like, holy shit, I want that to be my life. Like, I want to enjoy what I do. I want to enjoy waking up every day. And just like every day is it's just another day with your feet in the sand kind of idea.
That's it, man.
So
We're on our way.
On the way, dude.
I can't wait to join you for some of the travels. We
Well,
talked about doing an Arizona trip, but it should be like fall when it's not so hot.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's terrible right now. It's like
let-
110 today.
let me tickle your proverbial fancy here. And I'm going to say I'm literally, as of yesterday, I decided that I'm going to be moving to Arizona in the fall. So it's funny you even said
See? It's more psychic information.
that. You're connected, dude.
Where?
Um,
Are you allowed to tell us?
yeah, Lake Havasu.
Okay, great. I
Yep.
don't even know how far where Lake Havasu exactly is, but
It's right on the border of Arizona and California.
that's what it's pretty close. Oh, perfect. Oh, great.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to be moving out there. I'm not going to be living out there for the rest of my life, although I would
just
love to.
stationing yourself there.
Just for 6 to 9 months or something like that to try
Okay.
and get all my ducks in a row. Ducks. And
There you go.
and yeah, just trying to get it all together. And yeah, which I'm really excited about because Sean lives there. My parents live in Lake Havasu. I was born in Lake Havasu, and
I
so
did not know that.
Yeah, I have a big connection to Arizona in general. So I'm really excited to move back, even though it's just
Wait,
temporary.
Sean, where are you?
Oh, I'm in Phoenix.
That's right. I knew that. Yes. Oh, great. Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to triangulate sometime. But I think right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get over to the meditation, then we'll have a little conversation afterward. Shannon, for anybody that is not going to be joining us on that meditation and they're going to be ending the episode here in just a few minutes, could you tell them where they can find you?
Well, thank you for asking. You can find me at magicisrealservices.com. You can find I need to organize that website better. Magic is Real, the podcast, is on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And so if there's like, it's under Magic is Real 111, I think, on YouTube, and I need to merge things with my website. So, or you can just email me at magicisrealshannon@gmail.com and follow me at Real Magic Shannon on Instagram, and you can reach me there as well.
I'm going to need your voice to speak to me whenever it's giving me directions and I'm going down the road because you sound like you have the perfect voice for that.
I just was shortlisted for a car GPS voice, which I hope I
Get
will
the fuck out of here. What are the odds?
That's my dream. I'm like, just let me be the voice. Turn right. After the yeah.
I'm always going to turn right if you tell me to turn right with that
You
voice.
too.
yeah.
You have the best radio. You
Going
have
off
the
a
best
cliff.
voice. I know, but yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, look, the one out there, we usually shoot the live shows on Wednesdays. So this is, I don't know if it's necessarily a one-off. We'll probably do it again at some point in the future. But typically what we do is we shoot the live shows on Wednesdays. We call it Wonder Wednesday, where we get all of the one together to have a conversation. Sometimes we have great guests. Sometimes it's just great topics. And as a matter of fact, Sean, our boy Nigel Perryman just reached out.
Oh, dude, it's been way too long.
It has
way
been.
too long, and I'd be really interested to see kind of just the conversation we can have with the lens and the understandings that we've come to, man. You know,
For sure. He's the man. So if you want to be involved on these live shows, maybe you want to put in your 2 cents, or you just want to be in the aura of the one, then you go to patreon.com/meta mysteries. That link's down in the show notes below. Over there, you will be able to slide into our DMs. You'll be able to get the shows a couple of days in advance. You'll be able to see all the video, and it's always completely commercial free. So it's the best way to be in the zone over here, and we appreciate everybody who has supported us in that way. We also have YouTube, so if you go to youtube.com/meta mysteries, you'll be able to see all the shows over there. Those are posted on the same day that they're posted to the Cult of Conspiracy podcast. But if you want to get the shows one day in advance, then you go over to the Meta Mysteries podcast. You'll be able to listen over there one day in advance. So all the different ways, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. Come give us a little follow, like our shit, and we would appreciate all of you guys that have done that so far. But I think right now we are going to get over to the meditation. And I mean, if Psychic Shannon, if she came here and she taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
stay weird.
Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
Man, that was such a good one. I felt so
cried.
relaxed. You did?
Did
I
you?
don't know why. I just cried. I don't even know why. I just think because I never stop. Like I just never stop. And then I'm like, oh, there's some sadness there or some relief or something. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just like, oh, I think I needed to get some tears out.
You know, I felt pretty similar, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't cry.
I felt emotional. Let's just say, yeah. Did you feel emotional? I felt emotional.
Yeah, it was almost like,
Definitely.
I don't know.
Like a
like-
releasing or
Yeah.
something.
it felt motherly to me
Yeah.
in a weird sense. I don't know, man. And it's, I think, first of all, she has a great meditation voice.
She
but-
does. That's
Yeah, she was definitely hitting on that. But the tone, too, was kind of somber, but almost comforting at the same time.
Maybe it was the music. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to cry, and I don't even know why.
Get it out of you,
We
girl.
need to know why. No, we just need to let it out.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was pretty deep.
Felt like I needed that before we started recording, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually,
like I felt
it's
out of
true.
sorts today.
I probably would have
Sure.
given a better reading had I meditated first.
You know what's funny actually, because I was listening to your podcast and
Thank you.
I think it was Dennis that was
Yeah.
talking in this particular one, and it might have been him, and he was talking about the Looney Tunes, not Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
but the
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And sometime today, like a little bit before recording, randomly I started whistling like the Looney Tunes song. And so but it was like something I didn't even think about
Yeah,
doing. It
yeah.
just happened, you know, and then it wasn't until we started recording and that I thought about that. And I was like, oh, that's weird. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
that
there's something to that.
happens. Yeah, sometimes that kind of thing happens where you're like, I know we just talked about that, but that's not what this was. It came in from
Mhm.
somewhere else, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was super. That
loved-
episode was just super
Did you?
fascinating.
Were you able to? I know it's long. Were you able to finish it?
No, yeah. I believe
Oh.
I finished the whole thing.
It was so.
His experiences, and I think that's my favorite part of, you know, obviously what you're doing and kind of what we're trying to do too is let people express their experiences, because I think experiences are so huge. You know, I know that we like to downplay them as, oh, maybe that's my own thoughts, or maybe it's just a dream, it's nothing. But the experiences that people are having, I mean, Nick having his own experiences all the time, it's like, that's what I'm fascinated. You know, I'm really fascinated with the experiences that people are having, because there's a reason. You know, like these things don't happen for no reason.
Everything is synchronicity, and I want to know everything about Nick too, at some point. So, but yeah, that's.
I
It's
was
true.
trying to be a little I guess what's the word? I didn't know exactly what the way and how and who specifically you communicate with, so I was trying to stay a little I guess, objectively vague.
Oh yeah,
If that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. So,
yeah.
so my stuff, I think Jonathan and Sean were like maybe beating around the bush a little when they were asking around about the extraterrestrial side.
Yeah.
Uh, that's so. Long story short, I about 3 years ago basically like heard my guides for the first time
Oh,
and have had like a pretty much back and forth dialogue like like this for about 3 years whenever I like meditate and stuff.
oh, that's so
And I've
cool.
documented it all and on like a Telegram channel and stuff, but it's got to the point to where like we can go out and go outside like at the ranch or whatever and look up and they'll like do cool stuff for us in the sky and that kind of
Yes. Where
thing
are you?
in Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got a bunch of crazy cool videos and then them like, I'll talk to them later about certain like aspects, like and thanking them for it. And, they'll be like, yeah, they'll always come if we're able to and that kind of thing.
I want to know everything. I know. I want us to all. We all have to We have to do a CE5.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I want to.
That'd be great.
Under the
I wanna do-
influence or above the influence.
Either way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they'd be down for sure.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Well, because
yeah,
you live in California, right, Shannon?
I'm in LA.
That's right.
I'm in Laurel Canyon though, so it's like very spiritual spot of LA.
Is it?
Yeah. Well,
It's so gorgeous. You'll see it. You'll have to head up to LA, but I'll come visit you and we'll go to Sean. We'll head over to Sean. I've never been to Lake Havasu, but I've heard of it a million times.
It's a pretty cool little spot. It's just like
Yeah, I've
this
heard
little
that.
oasis, in the middle of the desert. Really,
I love
But
Arizona.
It's really cool.
they
I'm
have
so in love with it, yeah.
they used to have Girls Gone Wild go out there all the time for spring break.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
yeah.
like boating and stuff, like
Oh yeah.
jet skis?
Yep.
It's kind of
Yep.
how I always thought of it. I always thought it was like a dude bro place to go.
I mean, it's a girl chick place to go too.
It's a girl chick- yeah.
There's a lot of everybody out there. It
No,
gets
I've heard
pretty
it's really
crazy.
beautiful though. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is beautiful though. It's got the London Bridge over there, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It's my favorite place in the whole world.
Someone invited me there, but it's the guy that he's like, I really like spending time with you, and I thought, I'm trying to not be mean, but he's just one of those.
The
people
feeling's
that-
not mutual.
He's very negative. He's very, 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 very negative all the time. He's like the Debbie. He's a
Mhm.
Debbie. He's literally. I know he struggles with depression, and like he doesn't get the girl. He's like lanky, tall, awkward guy, and I've always tried to be nice to him because I feel bad for him. But then he just kind of like was like, I want you to come and. I was like, I am not staying in an RV with you. like I'm nice to him because I'm like, I feel bad. It's hard. It's hard when you're like this goofy guy with mental health issues, and he's just trying to. Every time I see him, he's like, "Well, I'm alive at least." You're like,
God.
yeah, like you're like, "How you doing?" Well, didn't kill myself today, and you're like,
Oh, jeez.
"Oh, it's and I'm like, I just have to keep
I'm
my
glad
distance.
you didn't do that.
No, and he
Right.
wanted me to. He's like, I got like this RV or something there, and I would love for you to come and stay with me. I was like, I literally, there's no one I'd less rather spend time with. so I just kind of was like, oh, thanks. But yeah, so
I
Yeah.
did actually have one more question for you, and it's only because so I know that you're not somebody that would necessarily require a Ouija board, but real quick, what are your thoughts on the Ouija board? I know you said that you don't typically see, or you do not see
Yeah.
like dark spirits or anything like that, and so what are your thoughts on the Ouija board?
I'd love to hear yours too. But I think people think, and I don't mess. I think I just don't mess with it because I don't know. But
Mhm.
people will say it invites all kinds of dark spirits in, like
Mhm.
as well, and there might be trickster spirits. But then again, how do I know I'm not doing that too? Like for
Right.
some people think tarot cards are like, oh, you're just communicating with the devil. But people also think I'm communicating with the devil and it's not real. So
Right. Mhm.
I don't know I don't think for me it's not the tool, it's the intention.
Mhm.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Nick? As someone who basically I would say is like a channeler, for lack of a
So,
better term.
yeah. So with me, so there's people like Bashar, right? Or like Daryl Anka. What he's doing is more, I would say, like traditional channeling.
Yeah.
where
You're just communicating.
yeah, it's that would be, from my understanding so far, is like it's just telepathic.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's just like I'm there. It's almost like I'm reading their response to what
Yeah.
it's like I'll what I do is I say it all out loud and I record it on my voice memo on my phone, and then I say our conversation. So I'll ask them something and then I'll repeat what they tell me in my head, and I'm like almost reading their response, but I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm having a two-way conversation with myself, but not
Well, I
really.
guess that is, I mean, if someone was there, you'd be conveying it, right? But
Yeah,
like,
but
how
but
did?
it's
Oh
coming out
yeah,
of my mouth the whole time.
yeah. I just think, like, for me, again, I'm not an expert on this, but I do feel like if your vibration is high and you intend to connect with higher vibrational spirits, you can. But I also know that a lot of people are like, oh, the Ouija board is so dangerous. And I don't know why it would be as opposed to something else, but I'm not going to fuck with it. Like, I probably wouldn't fuck with it just in case because I don't know.
Right.
It
Yeah,
probably has a
well,
lot
see,
to do
the
with
reason-
just the weird connotation that's always been surrounded by it, and not necessarily
Yeah.
that that's.
asking about the Ouija board.
I don't think like there's a because also it was like Hasbro came out with them, or it was like Fisher Price. But the other thing is, I don't like things where it requires, like you're supposed to rest your hand and nobody's supposed to move.
Right.
But there's always that subconscious thing that you could be subconsciously kind of pushing it.
Mhm.
Although I've heard too many stories to think that that's the only way it works.
Oh, it's like
and
dowsing rods at that point.
I have dowsing rods. I kind of feel like they're bullshit, but I got them out of curiosity. Like, I think they can, like, at certain places, work, but I feel like they don't. I just wanted to see what they were like, and I felt like I don't think this is like yes or no. I don't know. I feel like it can pick up on like energy or like spirits because it would start. What do you? I don't know.
I
What do
feel
you
like
think?
my energy or intention around it almost influences it way
do
more
too.
than I want it to.
I do too. Same with the pendulum. I don't like pendulums because I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, that really is doing its own thing. But I'm like, but is that because the earth is spinning? Or like, is it a magnetic pull? And sometimes it just doesn't, it's not consistent. It's like, I think, I don't want to say, no, it never works. But I also, yeah, I like that. I think they're
I don't know.
fun.
I've never
to
really
fuck with, but-
mastered it, but
No, I feel
I-
like I kind of play with it, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I really buy this.
My introduction to dowsing rods came from my stepdad, who's the like most you met my stepdad, right, Jonathan?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like the most country, like good old boy, like not into any kind of esoteric anything at all, right? And pretty much everything's bullshit for him anyway. And he got out. He called them witching sticks or something, right? Water witching, and we just had two copper rods, and we were looking. He told me about him, and we went to. He was just trying to find the water line in the yard, like where the pipe was, and he was just walking around the yard and just trying to find where the water line went so that we could dig. And he's like walking around. And you just go across, and when they cross, you just dig where they crossed, and the water line was there.
Yeah,
every
that makes
time.
sense.
I'm like, okay, well, is it like electromagnetic, or is it
Right.
just your intention of looking for the water line, or is the water like actually affecting these rods, or like what's going on here? And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the
I
crazy
feel like
thing
it
about
is.
that is, though, too, is that, people hadn't always used copper or bronze or whatever. Some people legit will get like just a bent stick, legit, and they're able to do the same exact thing, which
I
makes it
wonder-
even crazier at that point because
yeah,
now
you could say the
it's
copper resin, with the water molecules or something. And then my friend Lily she just moved to Sedona. She's a ufologist. I don't know if you should have her on. I'll
A cool
give her
job.
Lily Nova.
hook us
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
Lily Nova Starseed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I follow her actually.
Yeah, she
Telegram.
and I'm bummed because she just moved to Sedona right when I left, and I kept being like, "You got to move here, you got to move here."
Got a YouTube
And
channel too, I think, too, right?
yeah, she does. I met her because she was on my show. We're not like tight, but we text sometimes. But she just did a video of her holding the dowsing rods in some vortex, and they were spinning like crazy. So it's not that I don't think they're obviously responding to energy, something.
Right.
I just don't know that you can be like, am I going to get married next year? You like, I just don't think, I don't know that that's really what they are good
Like
for.
Magic 8 Ball type stuff.
The magic, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it feels. A lot of that stuff I take with a big grain of salt, and I'll just kind of do it for fun. Even tarot, although tarot seems to be pretty accurate, and it makes sense that spirit could communicate through them. But when people say tarot cards are the devil, I'm like, well, how is that different though from me getting information from a spirit? They're just basically saying, giving you a sign. It's just a sign. Like if I
Right.
just say, sometimes you can even do it with a book. You can just be like, what do I need to know today? Open to a random page. Form follows thought, not thought follows form, as we've mistakenly taught ourselves. The bills that eat up the wealth are actually a manifestation fulfilling some conscious or unconscious beliefs of that person. And I would just go, well, that's something I needed to hear today. But
That's cool.
like something like that could. So but I don't know. I don't know if the Ouija board is inherent. I don't think it's inherently anything. I think it's mainly
It's
just,
what you feed into it, right?
yeah. And I think it's also
Okay.
your higher self kind of subconsciously maybe moving it. Although there are people that say I wasn't even looking and it spelled something out. And I mean, I'm not saying that isn't possible.
To be fair, I'll say this. I don't know if this show would necessarily have ever been made if it wasn't for a Ouija board.
Really? Did you have an experience? Is that why?
No, my
Oh.
mom and Sean's mom,
Yep.
they dabbled into the Ouija board a couple of times together, and they told us about it, which kind of opened up our curiosity about a bunch of spiritual things. Like my mom was always into like the witchy things, not like, she never messed
Yeah.
around with tarot cards or anything like that, but was like always showed something. Like it was just always super cool. And so whenever I thought, was seeing her into all that kind of stuff, it, I don't know, piqued my curiosity a little bit
Your moms
too.
are sisters. Is that what they are?
No. My mom is actually Jonathan's mom's aunt.
Oh,
But they're
okay.
very
So-
close in age, and so they
Right.
basically
Okay.
basically more
Cousins.
like sisters. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, that being said, I bought a Ouija board. And it's like one of those old school ones. It's like from the
Ooh, that's cool.
70s. So
Oh,
it
that's
might
really
have like
cool.
an echo of some crazy egregore
I think
already
you'll be
built in.
fine.
So I'm a little nervous. It's
Let's
still
do
in the
it.
car.
Let's fucking
I
do
haven't
it.
even brought it in the house yet. That's how I'm like, let me talk to Shannon first,
Yeah, I
figure out
think-
what the deal is, and then
What do
you know what I mean?
I don't know. My feeling is no object is necessarily like dangerous. It's just
Inherently bad.
yeah, it's just if you use it, say I call upon angels of protection, I say God,
Right.
Jesus, angels, and and I'll be like, I don't even, and again, Metatron and all that. I don't know how we know that I just use their
Right.
names. I'm like, Archangel Metatron, Michael, Raphael, please come in and protect us from any energy
Mhm.
that would wish to confuse us or do us harm. I ask that only messages of God's white light come into my space. I reject any lower density entities, and I raise my vibration, and I say something really, loving, and then I'm just like, if there is anyone that can manipulate this, please do. I've also tried like those like apps, which I'm sure you have too.
Mhm.
And I always feel like, I don't know, like nothing's really happened on them, like the ghost tube or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Like I would like, and I've heard stuff on EVPs. I just don't have an EVP recorder, and they're so hard to hear
Mhm.
that I just don't know. I even made myself, I have it. I've one of those, what do you call it? The radio ones that you hook up like a pedal to, and I made myself a spirit box.
Yes.
okay.
It was just a lot of I mean, I don't know. Like one time I
Mhm.
thought I heard Shannon. Like that was it.
Oh,
And I'm like, and that freaked me. But I was like, I don't know.
that's enough of that.
It's so it's so hard to hear. I just looked on YouTube how to build one, and I like bought all the parts for it, plugged it all in.
Oh wow.
I'll have to remember to bring it when we get together. So, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of static, and like
Mhm.
maybe they said something.
And if you
Right.
record it, then you can slow it down or speed it up and stuff like
Yeah.
that too.
I'm sure it works. I just don't know. I would turn it on, and it was just like, so I don't really.
I mean,
I
it
just
could
thought it
just
was
be
cool.
one of those things to where, because some people are really drawn to the dowsing rod, some people are really
Yeah.
drawn to tarot, some people are really drawn to channeling or psychic, and it's like everybody has a thing that they're a little bit better at.
Yeah.
And I feel that way towards tarot personally. I mean,
I know.
I like whenever I give myself a reading or I give others readings, it's always hits home every time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
And
does.
as a matter of fact, I just gave one last week to this gal. And so I gave her one, and I initially was only planning on just doing like a 1-card reading just to show her how it works and stuff like that. And I got the card, and then I was like, wait a second, let me try and see what else is going to be building off of this. And it was a perfect like past, present, future reading, and it perfectly in order the way that they fell. It was, dude, she started crying. Like it was
Yeah.
like so intense that she was like, oh my God, this is just one of those times that I'll never forget. And I'm like, I am but a conduit for this
Yes,
energy.
yes. It's really, I still do. Every morning I kind of like shuffle them and just say like, what do you want to tell me? What do I need to know today? And
Yeah.
and I'll usually do like 3 or 4. And then sometimes I ask ChatGPT to read it for me so I can be not so that I call her Gail Patricia Thurber, my therapist. She's like, I'm like, can you just interpret the cards because I'm too biased? So
Right.
I asked the question, here are the cards I pulled, and she really lays it all out there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's on one for sure.
Sean, I will definitely do that Ouija board with you.
All right, let's do
know.
it. I figured,
Report
it's
back.
not something that I'm gonna sit there and just be playing with all the time. You know what I mean?
No,
But
I
like,
know.
I thought it would be something cool to have for when you do come. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll find some
think
open
that we-
field somewhere.
Yes.
Not even that. Maybe I just won't even bring it in the house until
Yeah.
then. I don't know.
Just
I
a
think it's going to be
seance.
safe
Oh.
as long as you just pray for good and you just say, I'm
Right.
only here to work with the light. I'm not here,
Yeah.
not even not, just I'm here to work with the light. I'm of love and light. And I just don't know. Watch next time I see you, you'll have like glowing red eyes. And
Yeah, it's gonna get weird. Yeah, I hope not.
Maybe
But
I'm
it's
just
from
too
the
naive.
'70s, so I might have to sage the shit out of it
That is
first.
so cool. Where'd you get
You
it?
know, Goodwill, of course.
Oh,
you know?
Goodwill's my favorite store.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine too.
I got that and a lightsaber for my son for like $7 out the door.
So cool.
So I was pretty happy.
Out the dough.
You know,
Yeah.
I got it. We'll have to
popping tags.
I'm obsessed with Goodwill. Like I go there all the time. I also sell a lot of stuff from there on Poshmark.
Oh, right.
eBay.
Mhm. Oh, my
fact,
mom does
today
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom and my sister actually.
I just sold a pair of boots today I actually got a pair of my Fry boots, which are $400 boots. I got them for $3.75 at Goodwill
Telling you.
in Virginia, in the bins.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, who died? Why are these here? First of all the people went running towards the shoes when they give out the numbers, because sometimes they do that.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, I'm not going to fight because what's meant to be mine is mine.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not going to do this. And it was like people
Yeah.
knocking each other out. And then when they all dispersed, I'm like, are those Fry boots? I've wanted them forever, but I couldn't afford them. And I was like, they're my size? They're $3.75. And they're like new. I was like, this can't be. Somebody died. But I got them there. And I got a pair of ski boots there for $3.75, sold them for $100.
Damn.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can find a lot of great deals over there. But
So fun.
I mean, just even that Ouija board, I actually like it. The idea even more, knowing that it's used.
It's got
I
some
know.
years in there. Like I said, there might be some echoes of something already kind of
Or you
built
could
in.
sage
so
it. I don't know what I
we might have to work. Yeah, we
Well,
might have
and
to
then-
work that out first.
And I
Yeah.
think that maybe
Sand
we'll the next time we have you on, it'll be, after me and Sean get done playing with that. And then we'll welcome you into We'll welcome you into the show and everything. We'll talk to you about our experience, and we'll be like,
Oh my God, you're gonna
fuck
need a
with you.
young priest and an old priest.
Wait, we have to. How far is Lake Havasu from here?
probably not.
Hey,
Probably about 4 hours, 5
Havasu.
hours.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that.
233 miles.
Oh, I'll say it's like 4 hours,
Yeah. So
2.5 hours.
is it like far away from Joshua Tree or is it near Joshua Tree?
I have no
Like,
idea.
is it a totally different way than Joshua Tree? Oh, it's 5 hours, but still,
Is it 5? Okay.
but like, I plan
Yeah.
to go back to Prescott and stuff, so it's fine. I used to drive here every month from Prescott to
Oh,
LA
wow.
to visit, or like every 6 weeks, and I like the drive. It's a beautiful drive.
Mm.
And I'm
Scenic.
going to Pappy and Harriet's in Joshua Tree. I got tickets to see Arrested Development. But then my friend plays with the band Cracker, and he was like, we're playing the following weekend there. So I'm trying to see if I can get a refund, even though I really want to see Arrested Development, but I don't want to have to drive up there twice. So
Right.
I'll go
Yeah,
see
makes sense.
Cracker just because I'm friends with it's my college friend, and he plays in that band. And you guys are young for Cracker, but do you
No,
know who Cracker-
I know who
you know,
Cracker is.
I figured
Yeah.
you would know, yeah. And I saw them there once before, and it was so fun. So I'm going to try to switch it out and go
Hell yeah.
to Joshua Tree for that.
Well, I think we're definitely going to all have to get together one of these days. I think that
soon.
would be.
Yeah, we will. When it cools off.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
When it
not even
cools-
moving out there until towards the end
When
of
it
September.
cools off. Yeah.
It's end of September?
Yep.
Okay,
it'll
perfect.
It'll still be pretty warm.
That's actually like the
by then.
perfect time. So let's just put that on our books.
All right.
right.
Put it on my vision board.
On your yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
All
good.
right, you guys, thank
All
you
right.
so much. I
Thank
have this.
you.
I'm babysitting for a dog. She's a Shih Tzu, and she's 15, and she has dementia. And I've left her out there. My roommate went and walked her, but my roommate went to another job. We have all these dogs. We've taken on all these dogs. So she's at our neighbor's house, and then we've got this other dog, and I have a cat in my apartment, and she's got this dog. And anyway, the dog is in heart failure and has dementia, so she's a very confused little old lady.
Poor thing.
She's such
Forgetting
a
who
mess.
she is right now.
She looks around like, who are these people?
When
so-
am I?
and she
you
pees
know?
all over the floor. It's definitely, I do not want any dogs of my own, but I'm going to go cuddle her and sleep with her tonight. So
All right. Sounds like a plan.
great to see you guys.
You too,
Good to
Shannon.
see you.
Nice to meet you, Kyle, even though we didn't speak, and hi, Britton. And nice to meet you, Nick. We'll talk soon.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
All right. See y'all later.
Voices drift on winds untamed. Words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.